Park at Camden Yards. Middle game of this 3-game series. Looking forward to the All-Star break as each team will play today and tomorrow before the break. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Blue Jays for tonight. Toronto at 44 and 44. Scutaro, Hill, and Lynn with Scott Rowland in the cleanup spot. Vernon Wells bats fifth. Alex Rios in that number 6 spot. He has really hit well against the Orioles on the year. A 3.7 batting average, 10 out of 27. Old friend Kevin Millar at first with Rob Barajas catching and Jose Bautista in left field batting ninth.
And our PNC scouting report for Rich Hill. Well, how about King of the Hill tonight? Because it's been a struggle lately. And in talking to Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, he would, he's got the curveball and the changeup. But at the end of the day, you better throw some more fastballs. Let's hope that's the case. And you just kind of want to have amnesia. You want to forget the last couple of starts and just go back and try to command your stuff. And again, he pitched against Toronto early on in the year. It wasn't a great start. 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Orioles came back and won that game. So again, everything's been up. Fastball's been up, the curveballs, the ERA, the hits, everything. So you hope that tonight he will, and he's been working very hard trying to change it, but you'll see if he's been able to do that between starts.
When you get to a point where, as you say, he's been working very hard to try to change it, do you go to the mound trying to think of that as opposed to just being natural in pitching?
Well, I think that's one of the problems, and we had talked about paralysis by overanalysis, and I think Rich is kind of borderline on that. So again, and I think the disappointing thing for the Orioles staff, to be honest, and you should try to be, I guess, is that Rick Kranitz said when you give up 6 runs and 9 hits, you don't tell everybody you pitch well. You just try to move on and try to do better. So hopefully that will be the case tonight against the Blue Jays.
Marco Scutaro takes a high fastball, 1-0. We are underway from Oriole Park. Scutaro has settled in as the everyday shortstop for Toronto. He's got a 3-game hitting streak going. And there's a strike.
Yeah, he's a guy that over the years you'd always figure, well, he's going to be a utility guy, and but now they're talking about trying to re-sign him because he's just been outstanding. You can see the 3-game hitting streak doesn't mean a whole lot.
And Dino charges to play the hop and gets it across, and 1 down as Scutaro is retired.
Well, the Orioles, let's see how they play defense tonight. Scott Luke is out in left field. Nolan Reimold's going to get the night off. Jones, Markakis, that's the outfield. Moore and Dino. Cesar Asturias back, but we will see Robert at shortstop. Roberts, Wigington as Huff will be the DH, and Matt Wieters, the young rookie catcher, behind the plate.
Well, 1 away on the ground out. Here's Aaron Hill. And he takes outside, 1-0.
Well, Jim, you ask what you try to do, and it's funny, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I was talking to Roy Halladay, had just won a Cy Young Award, and he struggled early on, and it was raining, and they kind of called off batting practice. And I said, how's it going? And he said, well, you know what? He said, it's been a little bit of a struggle because I set out my goals, 7 innings, 3 runs, and then I forgot what and how I won the Cy Young Award the day before, or the year before, and that was basically 1 hitter at a time. And I think that's probably the best advice for Rich Hill. You got Scutaro out, easy ground ball. Now go get Hill out. He's going to play on the All-Star team. Everybody knows he's a terrific player, high ball hitter. Go get him. Trust your stuff. See you.
And a called strike 3. Got the fastball on the inside corner and 2 quick outs.
Well, we saw Brett Cecil out of the University of Maryland. I mean, he was all over the place, and he made great pitches when he got to 2 strikes. So Matt Wieters receives that ball very well, and they get that borderline inside strike for strike 3 to Hill.
Pitch Tracks presented by Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse. So he gets a hot hitter, an all-star out on a called strike 3. Here's Adam Lind, the number 3 batter. He's the Toronto DH. And there's a pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1.
No, there's such a game of momentum, and when you're a starting pitcher, you got to come out, make the adjustments from the bullpen to actually when the game counts.
Popped him up. Shallow left center field. Who's it going to be? Jones moving over. Scott is there, and Adam takes charge and makes the out. And Rich Hill, a very strong start. He retires the side. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first. The bullpen picnic area, middle game of the 3-game series. Good start from Rich Hill. Here's the Orioles Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Birds coming up in the first. Roberts, Jones, and Markakis. Nick in his career has always hit well against the Blue Jays, regardless of the pitching. Huff, Wigginton, and Scott with Mora at third base. Wieters and Andino rounding it out.
And PNC scouting report on Ricky Romero. I tell you what, he's been very, very hot. 4-game win streak, 24 consecutive scoreless innings during that streak. He's described by his pitching coach as a young Johan Santana. We know how good he is, and this is the second time he has faced the Orioles. Pitched very well until about the middle innings, and then they let him up for 3 home runs. So again, this kid, and again, young Santana, what does that mean? It means he throws pretty hard. He's got a great changeup, and then he throws a curveball in there. And there are the numbers on the year. Not a lot of walks. Comes out of Cal State Fullerton. Pitched, or at least helped pitched him to the national championship.
Roberts swinging at the first 2 pitches, 2 foul balls, and Brian down in the count 0-2. See Brian 0 for his last 12. He is trying to find that stroke. His batting average over the past 13 games has dipped from 294 to its current 271. Ground ball towards third. Rolling backhands. Long throw across, and he gets the hustling Roberts 1 away.
That's exactly the way the game started last night. He had a hot shot off of Brett Cecil, and Roland snared it. And this ball a little bit more routine. Of course, Roland won 7 Gold Gloves at third base.
Adam Jones coming up. Let's go back, Jim, to May the 26th. Ricky Romero on the mound, and Adam Jones at the plate.
Yeah, but you could see the high fastball. And it's the one thing about lately. And of course, Adam, with 11 of his home runs coming in April and May, the league has adjusted. Still getting his hits. What did you say? His last 12 hits are singles?
Yeah, he's in a singles mode as of late. Actually, his last 14 hits have been singles. But what he has done, he's kept that batting average above 300. So for the players, and you certainly know this better than me, it is a year of ups and downs. You have the peaks and valleys, the streaks and the slumps, and the good ones figure out how, when they're in one of those market corrections, not to get too deep into it.
Well, exactly. Never too high, never too low. And right here, he's got himself a good hitting count.
2-0 on Jones, 1 out, none on. There's a ground ball and a base hit in the right field. So even with Millar wide of the bag, Adam Jones goes the opposite way for a 1-out single.
Well, that gives you a pretty good idea about what Romero and Jones are about. See, if you're a good pitcher, you get the ball out of the middle of the plate. And again, a great approach right here. There we go. And hits it sharp enough to get it into the outfield. So Romero says, well, I've learned a little bit about Jones. And Adam's awfully happy. Base hit. Why not tune it up for the All-Star game on Tuesday?
So Jones now with a 4-game hitting streak as he singles. And here is Nick Markakis. Nick's bat has also cooled off heading to the break. Ground ball towards second. That could be 2. Hill goes to second. SCUTARO back to first. And there's the double play. 4-6-3. And the Orioles down in the first. Heading to the second inning at Camden Yards. Jays and Orioles, no score. Maryland. Daniel has a chance to win $99 worth of American Classics scratch-off tickets from the Maryland Lottery for every Oriole home run hit tonight. You can have a chance to win as well. Enter by logging on to MASSonsports.com. Each pitcher with a 3-batter inning as we look in from center field. Beautiful shot from our jib camera out there in the bullpen picnic area. Here is Scott Rowland. And there's a strike. So Rich Hill, strike one.
Well, we encourage it, and we talked about in our PNC scouting report, more fastballs because, you know, again, you have to be able to establish it. Doesn't matter how good your curveball is, and there's a pretty good one. He is still not, and you know, he kind of points the front shoulder up, but they've been trying to speed up the windup. 2 starts ago, everything was too slow. Big lead against the Angels, couldn't hold it against Joe Saunders on Sunday. So again, I mean, I don't know if you'll ever change this, but as long as you get down, now watch the front shoulder, but go. So if you can get over the front side, then you can finish your windup and get the ball down in the strike zone. And then there's a nice pitch right in on his fist.
Weak ground ball to short, Andino to first, and one away. So that's the second ground ball out of 4 batters.
Take a look right here, and this is what you're looking at. So again, a lot of deception, but are your lines straight to the mound? And that's what they've been working on. You know, occasionally he'll just kind of open up a little bit. You see the ball better, and then it doesn't have that carry through the hitter. So at least through the first 4 hitters tonight as we look at Vernon Wells.
That was a very telling replay from right behind home plate because it looked like he was very balanced and going the direction that you say he must do more than not in order to be successful.
Well, again, it's very difficult when you get hurt. Had some success right there. And
deep to left field. Luke Scott is back on it at the wall. He leaps and he's got it. Luke Scott went back as far as he could go. Didn't feel the wall, leaped maybe before he had to, but he still got it. Nice play by Scott, and 2 away.
Well, it normally is your DH, but he took one look to see where the wall was, and then he jumps. And again, probably a foot short. High curveball. Wells thinks, well, maybe I got myself a Camden Yard home run. And it's not the case. So there you go. Nice play by Luke.
2 down. Here's Alex Rios, and Rios takes a strike.
You know, I taught Rich Hill before, and Kevin Millar on deck said, well, you know, I talked to Millar, and Millar told me if I throw too many curveballs and, you know, guys get to hit. And I said, first of all, don't be listening to Kevin Millar. He's the enemy. And I said, number 2, I said, here's the deal. It's real simple. You got a release point. You're going to go out to the bullpen. You're going to work on your release point for your fastball, your curveball, and your changeup. They're the same place. Go out there and take your best shot. Stop thinking so much. And I think already we've seen more velocity he had in Anaheim. And I'm not taking credit for it because the Oriole pitching coach, whether it's Alan Dunn or Rick Kranitz, have done a lot of jobs saying, hey, come on, throw the ball. Show me some good stuff.
Ground ball swept to short off the bat of Rios. Andino across, and 6 up and 6 down. So Rich Hill off to a good start. Some help from his defense. Luke Scott goes up and hauls it in.
League debut on May 14th. Nolan Reimold has only been out of the lineup for 2 games, but tonight he has the night off because he's been scuffling a little bit at the plate. We all know how good Nolan has been. He was American League Rookie of the Month for June, but Dave Tremblay just wanted to give him a mental blow. In his last 6 games, he's gone 0 in 5 of them, and Nolan told me, hey, everybody goes through a tough time. He said, I'm looking forward just to packing it in today, not looking at any film, and just taking a break and coming back strong after the All-Star break. So Nolan Reimold taking his first Major League slump in strides. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. And there's that phrase again, I don't want to think about it. Just go out and react.
Yeah, and you know what he'll do, and he did it yesterday to get it today. He worked with Terry Crowley, and just again, you know, Crows, we don't have to change a lot. It's path to the ball. The path of your bat to the ball. That's how hitters hit. And you got to figure out how to do that. You work. There's that good slider, a good breaking ball, very sharp one, but I'll be able to hold up on it. So this guy's got 3 good pitches. Fastballs, we've seen him as high as 93, can get up to 94. Good slider, and we haven't seen the changeup yet. He hasn't had to throw it. Of course, we're only into the 4th hitter of the game.
Aubrey off to center field. He got a lot of it, but Vernon Wells has a play, and he has it for the out. And 1 away here in the Orioles' 2nd inning. Well, tomorrow is your last chance to see the Birds here at Camden Yards before the All-Star break, and tickets for the game at 1:35 against the Jays will start as low as $9. So gather up the family and friends and enjoy a Sunday afternoon summertime baseball here at Camden Yards. 888-848-BIRD or online Orioles.com. 1 away, and here is Ty Wigginton, who is getting a start at first base tonight. As Reimold takes the day off, that pushes Luke Scott defensively to left field, which allows Dave Tremblay to give Aubrey Huff half a day off by DHing him, and it also gets Ty Wigginton's bat in there. Wigginton towards the gap in right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Rios will play the carom, and there is Ty Wigginton heading to second base with a 1-out double. So the Orioles have their second base hit.
Why was that ball hit with authority? Of course, he got the game winner on Wednesday, base hit up the middle against the Mariners, and watch this ball just get smoked to right center field. You know, Wells won 3 Gold Gloves. Rios can chase him down. Neither of them get to this ball. So Ty with a double in scoring position.
So Wigginton on at second base, picks up his 17th extra base hit, his 11th double. And the Orioles have a chance now with 1 down, a runner in scoring position, and their hottest hitter at the plate. Luke Scott, 10-game hitting streak coming in. Ricky Romero spent a bit of time on the DL this year, so he has worked 12 starts and only now 80 and a third innings. And because of that, he does not yet qualify to be included in the league leaders. You need to have pitched at least 1 inning for every game your team has played. So for the Jays, after tonight, he has to be at 89 innings to qualify. But when you look at his numbers, Jim, his ERA is 2.96. That would be good for 6th best in the American League. His teammate Roy Halladay is 5th at 2.85, but he still doesn't have enough innings to qualify, although he's getting close. 2-0 on Scott. And he takes a strike, 2-1.
And that tells you how hot Luke Scott is, because he didn't want anything to do with that 94-mile-per-hour fastball in the outside quarter of the plate. Now look at this count. This is one of the reasons he's having a good year. 2-1 counts. Let's see what he gets to hit, hitting .500 on the season.
Bounce towards second base. Hill charges to play the hop, and he gets it to Millar. 2 men down. Wigginton moves to third. 2 away in the inning.
Well, the one thing that, I mean, Romero does so many things well, but the one thing, we just saw it there, 159 with runners in scoring position. That's incredibly low. 10 for 63. Now make it 10 for 64. So if you get on, it's still very difficult to be able to score. And the interesting thing that he dominates right-handers, but lefties hitting .310. And 11 of the 27 hits he's given up to left-handed batters have been for extra base hits. So a 2-out opportunity for Melvin Mora. And there's that curveball, and it's a good one.
Melvin has a 3-game hitting streak working, so he's trying to finish strong for the first half. It's been an unusual year for Melvin. Jim mentioned his home run drought, which has now gone 50 games. Fouls it back.
I think I only had him at 48 in the open. I was trying to be positive. But again, you don't have to get a home run here. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to hit home runs. I still think, having pitched almost 4,000 innings, when you start hitting balls right center, left center, which is his strength, and then all of a sudden you do that often enough, they start pitching you differently. You get balls you can drive. But a single to right field, or maybe right center, because Rios throws well. But right here with 2 outs and a man on third won't really matter. But just a nice soft single somewhere, find a hole. A little, just in case you're leaning out over the plate. A little chin music right there.
1-2 is a little low. It looked like a changeup.
Yeah, well, that's the first one. That's the Santana, I think. Brad Arnsberg, their pitching coach, said he's got a very good changeup. He's just got good stuff. And that's why he was the 6th player chosen in the draft in 2005 out of everybody.
2-2, bends around the plate, ball 3. I think Melvin recognized that, then hoped that he saw it as he did. So the count goes full with 2 down.
Yeah, you got to trust Mike DeMuro, who's umpiring behind the plate, that he's not going to call the curveball that goes around the plate.
So a full count, first base open, so he can be careful with Melvin Mora. Payoff pitches outside, ball 4. So Melvin, after being down 1-2, works the walk, and the Orioles have 2 on with 2 down. Romero averages about 3 walks per game. He's very efficient. He averages 11.7 base runners per 9 innings.
Yeah, you got to understand how young he is, because he was at AA last year. He went up the latter part of the year, went 3-3 with AAA Syracuse, and Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach, said, well, everybody said, well, he's ready to pitch in the big leagues, and then he was not good in spring training. And because of the WBC, he got to work with him a little bit more, and he had it pretty much together. You know, he was way across his body. They changed that windup. You can see again 95. So again 93 to 95. He's got the changeup. Those are the numbers we're talking about. Righties struggling more against him than the left-handed batter.
Matt Wieters takes a strike. 2 on, 2 down. That one's off the plate.
And that's not a very good changeup. And Rod Barajas saying, hey, get that down.
Wigginton at third, Melvin Mora at first with 2 down. Orioles have already had 3 base runners in this game, but Romero got a double play to end the first. Wieters swings through that 1-2.
Yeah, I think he just turned that fastball over at 92. Of course, if you're Ricky Romero, I would imagine you have watched some film, and if he did, Wieters' first home run off a lefty with Joe Saunders about 430 to right center. So he knows where that power is, up and away.
Ground ball that is fouled down the third base line. That one hung a little bit, and Wieters out in front. Wieters 1 for 10 over his last 3 games, as he continues to go through what Nolan Reimold is going through. The hitters being exposed to the big leagues, and once the advanced scouts see it, they believe they have a book. And
well, what did Cal start out? 4 for 55. And he figured it out pretty well to get to Cooperstown, didn't he?
High pop, shallow center. This ball's trouble. Vernon Wells charging in, makes the sliding try, and it's off his glove. Wigginton will score. Wieters hustling into second base as nobody covered. That ball was trouble from the start because it was hitting no man's land. Vernon Wells, a Gold Glover, he gave it a tremendous effort, but it's off the glove, and the Orioles get the lead.
Yeah, the only way he's going to catch this if he slides. And when he slides, again, a lot of times, you know, you try not to run on your heels, but when you slide, it's hard to get the glove to the ball. So Wigginton makes it 1-0. Wieters heads up play right here. Romero will get there late. And then Aaron Hill threw it all the way into 1 hop to home plate, because all the cutoff men were out in the outfield. Everybody was out on the outfield grass.
And Matt Wieters will be credited with a double because he didn't stop and nobody covered second base. And here's Robert Andino, who is back in the lineup tonight after Cesar Asturias was activated last night.
So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but the one thing he's done well, I'm talking about Andino, he's played defense well and he's hit it home well. Almost 300. And there he's got a good pitch to hit, that changeup that stays up. And again, I mean, great instincts. I don't think anybody, maybe even including himself, thought he was going to be able to take the place for his tours for a month and play as well as he did.
0-2 the count on him. Runners at second and third. Changeup's low. He laid off.
But a much different. Of course, the whole team seems to hit better at home. But for Robert, 296 at home, 169 on the road. The only home run came here at Camden Yards. One thing he's done pretty well this year, 273 hitter with runners in scoring position.
Ground ball foul.
Well, it would be huge if the Orioles could get a base hit here. Perfect situation. You know, Wieters are not the greatest speed. They play him very shallow, especially center field and right field. So any ball up the gap is going to fall in. But again, Wells throws well. Rios with an outstanding arm.
Ball and 2 strikes on Andino. Run in. Too tight. 2-2.
That's a couple of them. Well, there's nothing wrong with pitching in. You don't like to pitch up around the head. But again, he overthrows this, and Robert gets down. You can see him turn his head, at least potentially use the flap, the ear flap, which you're required to wear. That
2-2 on Andino. Curveball is strike 3.
Round the plate.
Romero said it hit the corner. Andino didn't think so, and Romero gets out of it very inexpensively. A run on 2 hits and 2 left. We'll head to the third and a 1-0 Oriole lead.
Lead. Let's take a look at our Northrop Grumman pitch track, and you'll see why the Orioles don't agree. So it's a curveball in the baseball terminology. It went around the plate. So Andino, with a chance to drive in a couple of runs, gets called out, and we'll see if Rich Hill can take advantage of what seems to be an ample strike zone here tonight. Of course, Mike DeMuro, his dad, at least I believe it is dad, Lou DeMuro, who umpired for many years in the American League.
Here's Kevin Millar leading off against Rich Hill. And of course, Rich Hill, who loves his curveball. Let's see if he can take advantage of that, if that's the strike zone. Mike DeMuro called that one, and it was on the chalk of the batter's box. Fastball's high, ball 2.
Okay, so the first 2 pitches up in the strike zone, and what you'd like to have Rich do is make an adjustment.
Millar off the end of the bat, left field towards the line. A long run for Luke Scott. He doesn't get there. It's a foul ball.
Well, if you've had a chance to see Kevin Millar play, and we used to joke about it when he was playing for the Orioles, any hit to right field is accidental. Kind of a bail and wail type of hitter, pull hitter. And there's no doubt about it, he's trying to hit the ball from center, and you can see way out there around the ball, and that's why he hooks it foul.
2-1 is a strike, 2-2.
They told him not to throw any curveballs, and he didn't. I don't really know if I can't believe they had that conversation. And if you did, you wouldn't be listening to him.
2-2 hit past the mound. Roberts is back at the base, and he'll get it to first, and one down. 7 in a row retired. And of course, one of the gauges for a pitcher, Jim, is how many base runners do you allow per game, because that means how many might be able to score. Well, look at this. Rich Hill does not qualify for the league leaders, but if he did, he would not only be leading in this category he doesn't want to lead, he'd have a healthy lead.
But Jim, what was my third key to the game? Amnesia. Forget about all this. Okay. It's a new opportunity. And Jabba Chamberlain, he's been getting lit up. Of course, he was very much like Rich. Oh, I'm pitching great. But if you give up 8 runs, 5 runs like he did last night, he blew I think a 6-0 lead. The Yankees losing to the Angels. So just, you got to forget all that stuff. You go out there and react to the way the hitter reacts to you. You know about him. But let's just stop overanalyzing. Make your pitches and take your chances. But it's not good to a guy that leads All-American League catchers and RBIs to keep falling behind 2-0.
Foul back the other way, 2-1. Barajas comes in 0 for his last 10 and 2 for his last 15. Hill already with 4 ground ball outs. This one popped up. Shallow center. Here comes Jones. Adam gets there. And 2 men down. Well, fans, you can be part of the 2009 All-Star Game. Major League Baseball has made available a limited edition All-Star Game souvenir program that features our very own All-Star, Adam Jones, on the cover. You can purchase the official All-Star Game program limited player edition here at the ballpark or at MLB.com. We've got your players covered. Be an All-Star and order yours today. And there was Adam on the field, a pregame ceremony, getting his All-Star jersey. Part of the American League.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe he'd be in the home run derby. You know, they announced today that it was going to be Joe Mauer and Brandon Inge of the Tigers. And the National League guys are what? Howard, Pujols,
and good to see
Fielder,
he gets his number.
Yeah.
Number 10. Well, you know, as a first-time All-Star, if a veteran has that number, you have to get another number. So he'll be there with his familiar number 10.
And Jose Bautista trying to do a home run derby impression up at home plate as he chases 2 high fastballs.
There's a line drive and a base hit to center field over the leap of Brian Roberts. So on a 1-2 pitch, Jose Bautista, the number 9 batter, able to get on base, and the first base runner for Toronto tonight.
Okay, so now we have to throw from the stretch for the first time. And we'll see how Rich handles that. Yeah, look at those numbers. And of course, this is the whole team. What Toronto comes in with the second best away batting average, 283 for the season. And only 100 points better on the road, even though their road record's 18 and 26.
And a balk has just been called by home plate umpire Mike DeMuro.
Well, again, if you go behind with your right leg behind the pitcher's rubber, you have to go home, but you also have to step to the base. So let's see if he stepped to the base. Well, I don't know. That's pretty close. So again, the base hit, and now the balk, tying run at second base.
Scooter on the left field. Luke Scott moves over, and he has it for the out. So the base hit, the man left, middle of the third, in a 1-0 Orioles lead. And the Orioles organization would like to send their condolences to the family of Bert Simmons, the great Negro League player who passed away this week at the age of 85 years old. you by Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Second inning.
And Luke Skywalker, Star Wars. Vernon Wells thinks he's going to get his 10th home run. He was looped. Nice play by Luke Scott. Take away a home run by Vernon Wells on the high curve ball.
Here's Brian Roberts leading off for the Orioles in the third. Takes ball one. Jones and Markakis follow against Romero. There's a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. Brian grounded out his first at bat. Romero not only is 4-0 over his last 4 starts, his ERA in that span is 1.59.
Well, he had that 24 consecutive scoreless inning start that stopped in his last start. He doesn't get that pitch inside.
One of the things he has done better as of late is keep the ball in the ballpark. In those 4 starts, he allowed a total of only 1 home run. And that was a solo home run to the Yankees' Eric Hinsky in his last start. And there's Roberts gaining a leadoff walk. One of the lowest ERAs in the league since June the 5th. And Ricky Romero and Brad Bergeson are both on that list. You have a young veteran at the top, another young veteran second, a veteran third, and then 3 consecutive youngsters.
And we'll see Brad Bergeson tomorrow afternoon. So again, you're on a roll. You won what, 5-1, 4 in a row. I mean, 10 of your 12 starts are quality starts on the season, but the one thing you don't want to do with trailing 1-0 is walk the leadoff batter. And to Brian Roberts' extent, struggling with a bet, on base percentage just went up by taking the free pass. And let's see what Adam can do. Single to right his first time up on a good pitch down and away.
Takes ball one. Romero lost to the Orioles on May the 26th. We showed you the home run hit by Adam Jones. He allowed 3 home runs in that game. Reimold also hit a 2-run home run. And Aubrey Huff hit a solo home run. And when Brian Roberts gets on base and when he doesn't and scores a run, boy, the numbers are dramatically different.
They really are.
At the table center.
And that is for a team that hasn't had a winning record. So again, he's just such an important part of the offense. And again, he comes in tied for what, 3rd in the American League in run scored with 62.
Jones chops it foul, straight down at the plate, rolls out there on the grass. Adam, now we talked about his run of singles here. He now has 15 consecutive hits that are all singles. He's got 46 at-bats since his last extra base hit. He had a triple on June the 26th. And since then, they've all been singles, but base hits are base hits.
Well, I think he's pretty much taken what they're giving him. Trying to stay out of the middle of the plate, trying to stay down.
Chopper it slowly towards third. Roland goes to second, and out there, no throw back to first.
And there's the first changeup that Romero's been able to get over. So again, let's take a look at Adam, the way he attacks Romero. There's a changeup that misses. There's a low fastball he swings at, and there's another changeup, 84 miles per hour, that he rolls over. So again, in the first couple of innings, Romero not really being able to command the changeup. And that's an important part of his arsenal. He did get a big break, though, on the curveball that was called that was off the plate to Andino. Otherwise, the Orioles might have had an opportunity to score a couple more runs. And that was in the second.
Jones is running. Markakis takes, throws down to second base, and out at second base is the call. Dale Scott looked it over. Good throw by Barajas, and 2 men down.
Yeah, but how about the tag? One of the keys is when you get the ball, if you're a middle infielder, and you can see right here, and just slap the tag on him, and that's exactly what SCUTARO does. Great throw by Barajas, but he's got to reach back. So again, watch the foot up in the air, and that's what he tags.
Good call.
Yeah, how quick can you get the ball and the glove, unless you're Pedroia, the ball and the glove down to tag the runner? We refer to a play where it was really more of a base hit into left field that Pedroia tagged him with the glove, and the ball was in his bare hand, and they still got the call.
Marco Scutaro, best fielding shortstop this year in the American League. He's committed only 2 errors all year. Toronto overall has the best fielding team in the league.
What, 31 errors?
31 errors all year. Markakis fouls off a breaking ball. Romero, just 24 years old, out of Los Angeles. 1 loss in his last 7 starts. He has emerged as a very fine complement behind Roy Halladay. Brian Butterfield acting as manager tonight. There's a tapper towards short. Scutaro waits on it. Hurries the throw, and Markakis nearly beat it out. So a walk and none left. We'll head to the 4th, and a 1-0 Orioles lead. Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by PNC. PNC leading the way. Well, I'd like to welcome the Vietnam vets who visited with us today from Perry Point, Maryland VA Hospital. They spent some time with Tom and Rick out on the pregame set, now enjoying the game here at the ballpark. So our thanks to our veterans who are enjoying a night of baseball here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Aaron Hill leads off against Rich Hill, 1-0 Orioles. Big swing and a miss at a slow curveball. 0-1.
But it didn't roll, and that's the key. A lot of rolling curveballs over the last month. But again, you get on top of your stuff, you can see that ball go down. So even if you're looking for it, much more difficult to hit. Much more aggressive, better wind up Rich Hill tonight.
High fly ball towards left center field. That ball's going a long way. That ball's up against the wall. Adam Jones plays the carom, bobbles it momentarily, and then fires back in. So Hill is on with a leadoff double.
And that's really all it is. I mean, obviously with a 1-0 lead, let's take a look right here. Fastball not well located, so he just drops the head. There's your Exmo. And this is why this guy's going to the All-Star game. Concussion last year after a collision with David Eckstein, and this year All-Star numbers.
The only hitter in the American League with more hits than Aaron Hill is Ichiro Suzuki. That was number 113 for him.
Well, he's having a really good year. So my point about the double is that's only the tying run. And if it happens, just make sure you try to get Lynn out and then take your chances.
Today's leaderboard presented by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. The doubles leaders, Toronto with more doubles as a club than any team in the American League, and that's pretty good if you have more doubles than the Red Sox because of the way the Red Sox can hit those balls off the green monster. Here's a good looking curveball for a strike. One of the things that I've noticed with Rich Hill with the breaking ball, and he obviously likes to throw the pitch because he throws so many of them, but the hitters seem to be going up there expecting that and looking for that, and at times forgetting about everything else he throws, and maybe that's why they're so much more effective against him. I mean, if you sit on that pitch and you know he's going to throw it because he throws so many.
Well, what they were trying, when I talk about what they, and that's Rick Kranitz and Alan Dunn, they had him in the Cubs organization, and his curveball, you could look for it and you couldn't hit it. But that was pretty much wind-up oriented. They're just trying to get him back where he's a little more athletic. His lines are straighter to home plate, not around. And again, I think that has a lot to do with fastball command. I mean, the last fastball wasn't a good location, but you sometimes get away with it if you throw the ball through the hitter to the catcher. But if your windup is a little side to side, they see it better. It doesn't have the late life, and that's when you get hit hard.
1-2 on Adam Lind.
Oh.
Called strike 3 on the outside corner.
Now, see, we have not seen that pitch in about 6 weeks. I mean, this is a live fastball, and he hits the corner. Again, it's a big strike zone tonight. Mike DeMuro got a dinner date. So you're going to get a couple of pitches off the corner. We already seen Andino. So again, over the front side. Take your chances. Terrific pitch right there. Now all of a sudden you start thinking, okay, there's your tying run. Aaron Hill, but maybe I can get out of this.
High fly ball left center field. Luke Scott on the run has a play, and he has it for the out. So the ball not carrying out there tonight.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that was a home run. And again, this is on normal nights, pretty tiny ballpark. But again, another aggressive Rich Hill. Not a great pitch, but he gets away with it. As Luke Scott makes a nice play and runs it down in left center. And that was a guy that's got the third batting average in the American League that he just got out.
About the ball carrying or not carrying, Vernon Wells thought he had one in the second inning, Jim, on this hanging curveball.
Yeah, watch this ball hang up, one of the few hanging curveballs, and then nice play by Luke Scott. So off the bat, and you make a great point. It's very difficult sometimes at Camden Yards because of the warehouse and the wind swirling. We can see the flags way out on some of the buildings blowing out. But here in the ballpark, sometimes that's not the case.
Vernon Wells takes a strike.
And then we always have the birds on top of the scoreboard. The late Elrod Kendrick said, well, the wind blows wherever the beaks are facing. Well, they're talking to each other right now. So they're even confused. See the birds. I mean, Elrod.
They're looking at each other.
I know that. Elrod said, well, usually the birds kind of go where the wind's blowing.
Look, the flag's going one way, the other flag's going the other way. Here's the building Jim's talking about with the flags.
But again, this is a little more sheltered in the ballpark.
And of course, with the Blue Jays here, the Canadian flag is flying next to the American flag. Vernon Wells, the face of the franchise.
Yeah, 337 on the road, 172 at home. There's a pitch, strike, the inside corner.
He must like room service.
Well, I don't know. You know, it's just amazing. Again, they have the second best batting average, talking about the Toronto Blue Jays. And again, it's a ball that's close to the inside corner. Pitcher strike zone tonight. Take advantage of it.
It's fouled off the other way.
You could see Wieters slide up and in, and he missed by about 1.5 feet, but got away with it because he threw the ball well. Now, you make a good point. I always thought Vernon Wells, I mean, he had the big contract, what, $126 million for 7 years. He's had hamstring problems. But against the Orioles, he's hit about every conceivable pitch over the years that you've thrown. I mean, change-ups, right center, left center, down the line, 3-time Gold Glover.
Hill delivers and just inside. Wow. That looked better than the strike 3 call to Adam Lind.
Yeah, I would say it's probably inside a little bit, and it is. That hasn't stopped Mike DeMuro from calling it a strike on occasion.
3-2. Runner at second, 2 down. And that's hit hard but foul.
So now you're thinking right there, okay, fastball in, bat head to the ball. You got to keep it out of that zone. Perfect time to throw a changeup, but he hasn't thrown one yet tonight.
Aaron Hill at second base. He led off the inning with a double. Now they're with 2 down. Hill has 2 strikeouts on the night. He has not yet walked a batter, and a full count on Vernon Wells. Curveball, pop foul back this way.
And he comes out of his shoes again to hit a high curveball. And that doesn't mean you can't throw it. It's just you can't throw it in the middle of the plate belt high, or he's going to have another one of those swings.
Vernon Wells, a first-round draft pick of Toronto in 1997, a career Blue Jay. Another 3-2 is down and in ball 4, and a 2-out walk. First walk allowed by Rich Hill, who averages 6 per game. 2 more than his career numbers.
Well, very efficient, at least through 3 2/3 innings, only 49 pitches.
Here's Alex Rios, and that efficiency is something that has eluded him all year. When you look at his starts by starts, he has pitched 7 innings only once the entire season, and only one other time did he even get into the 7th inning.
Well, those are command issues.
Alex Rios bounced out his first at bat.
And there's your first changeup right there, and he misses with it.
Hill's 6 feet 5 inches tall. He's 205 pounds.
And as good as Romero is with runners in scoring position at 159, it's been a struggle for Rich Hill at 409.
Old foul, long and loud, but it's a foul ball. 1-1 on Alex Rios, who had been the Blue Jays' number 3 hitter, and now he's down in the lineup a bit. Last night he batted 7th. Tonight, with a lefty on the mound, he's batting 6th.
Yeah, this is a critical time because almost all the pitches, whether they're to Wells or to Rios, are up in the strike zone.
1-1 curveball for a strike, 1-2.
And even that curveball not as good as he'd like to throw. So you hope, if you're an Oriole fan, that he can somehow find his way out of this inning,
right,
and then get his rhythm.
Now you're 1-2. You're a pitch away from getting out of the inning. You love your curveball, but you've had some pretty good fastball command tonight. What do you throw here?
Well, I think you're going to probably, we've seen the fastball in, but I think Matt Wieters, something down in the strike zone right there.
And he got him. He swung through it, went away from the curveball. Rios down on strikes, 2 Ks in the inning, and Toronto strands 2. Good fastball location for the out.
Presented by Chick-fil-A. Junior Orioles receive tickets to 10 specially selected games, a Dugout Club hat, membership card, a free kids meal from Chick-fil-A, and an Orioles lunchbox, all for just $17. Plus, family and friends can purchase tickets for each game for just $6. So go to Orioles.com to find out more about the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. And it's always fun at the ballpark when the Junior Oriole Dugout Club kids are here, because they bring a level of noise that is enjoyable at the ballpark.
I'll tell you what, I mean, a lot of people that were Junior Orioles and Dugout Club guys from, well, a long time
back
ago.
In your era?
Back in the day.
Well,
yeah.
Too.
I mean, our good friend Marianne Cricchio, who owns the Mimos, she's now in Italy for 5 weeks, but she became an Oriole fan because she used to be a Junior Oriole. And people all over it. That's how they started. Saturday afternoon in the bleachers. Hope for a souvenir.
Huff checked in time, 1-2. Aubrey flied out his first at bat. Romero got out of that second inning jam with only 1 run coming in. Breaking ball inside, 2-2, and the Orioles were actually fortunate that the ball fell in because he made a real good pitch on Matt Wieters, and it just fell into no man's land in shallow center field. Vernon Wells got to it, but he couldn't catch it. Off his glove for a double. Huff bounces it to second. Big hop for Aaron Hill. Aubrey's retired for the first out.
Well, what Ricky Romero's been able to do is what the Orioles hoped that Hernandez and Ferguson's already done it. I saw Jason Birkin last night lose, but he pitched very well. One of his best appearances, which is just make adjustments, because the last time that Romero pitched against the Orioles, he gave up 3 home runs. Huff hit one of them, and he gave up 11 hits. Again, he didn't walk a whole lot of guys, only 1, 5 1/3 innings. So he's gone on to be one of the best young left-handers in baseball since then. So you work on your windup, you get the experience, you find out what it takes not only to stay here but to be successful, and then you hope it translates into wins.
Big cut, and Wigginton swings through it. 0-2 tie. Got the rally going in the second inning with a 1-out double, and he scored the run.
I mean, think about it. They lost what? They lost Casey Jansen, they lost Sean Martin, they lost Dustin McGowan, and who else? Oh, Jesse Lish.
And Richmond, who.
Yeah, it's got Richmond this year, who is very, very good. So again, they lost all these guys, and they were the best pitching team in baseball, at least in the American League last year. So again, the Orioles, when you get good pitching, that's how you win more games than you lose.
Off the end of the bat to center field. In on it is Vernon Wells, and he'll get there, and Wigginton's retired, 2 men down. That guy can go get him out there, Vernon Wells.
Yeah, you can tell. You just look at his stolen bases and see that he's stolen 13 out of 14, and his legs are well this year. Good legs for Wells. Everything is well, because he's had hamstring problems and wrist problems. He's been injured.
Luke Scott grounded out his first at bat. He's looking to extend his hitting streak to 11 straight.
And that's what the longest, his 10 is the longest of his career. Mr. Consistency this year. I think that was a little changeup that you can see 85. Of course, there's been a lot of fastball, a lot of chin music today, and that may not like it as a hitter, but it's very effective. You don't get too comfortable.
Romero 6 feet, goes 210. Jim mentioned he played at Cal State Fullerton, just down the road from Los Angeles, where he grew up, and part of a national championship team, which you would expect certainly helped him in his quick development to the major leagues.
Yeah, beat the university
program.
But again, had a lot of things he had to change. I mean, it wasn't pretty much a struggle through the minor leagues.
Deep to right field, back it goes. It is gone. Luke Scott stays hot, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead.
Well, you know, you talk to Dave Tremblay, and you know the answer, but you say, is Scott going to play tonight? And he goes, well, first of all, I mean, he's slugging over 700 against left-handed pitching. I mean, this is a guy last year that hit .215 with 5 home runs against lefties. Now this year, he's not missing anything. And it's just a matter of how far this ball is going to go. Happy fan out on the flag court as it bounds into Utah Street.
We'll have to check if that landed on Utah Street or if that was an illusion going through the gate to the flag court. So Luke has a career high hitting streak now.
And it's his 8th home run against left-handed pitching after 5 all last year. And we're just past the halfway mark.
Team high 18th on the year. Now is 51 RBIs. Melvin Moore to center field. Vernon Wells back out at this ball carries. And Wells has it for the out in the deepest part of center field. So Melvin Moore gave it a ride for the out. Luke Scott, his 18th home run, a no doubt about it shot, has given the Orioles a 2-0 lead. trip at southwest.com. And by Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the timeout. Please relax responsibly. The Inner Harbor, a 2-0 Orioles lead, thanks in part to the left-handed slugging bat of Luke Scott, who has extended his hitting streak to 11 in a row, and Adam Jones teasing him from center field. And here's Kevin Millar hitting it down the line. That's in for a base hit and past Luke Scott. And Millar is going to head to second base with a leadoff double. So back-to-back innings, Toronto gets the leadoff man to second base.
Well, we told you, 9th double of the year. He's a pull hitter. And Luke Scott not going to quite get to it. And again, the ball gets by him, but no speed by Millar. So he came in a little bit of a struggle, only 14 for his last 79. That translates to 172. But again, great high ball hitter.
You see, Kevin wears number 30 in Toronto. He could not get his beloved 1-5 because Alex Rios wears that number. So he got creative and just doubled it up. Here's Rod Barajas. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Did you request number 22 or was it issued?
They gave me a uniform. I said thank you very much. And in fact, somebody was saying I thought it was Jack Fisher, and I think that he used to wear it, but there was Dean Snow. Now Tom Davis is the number guy. He was telling me.
Center field. Adam Jones has a play. And he gets there for the out. One down as Millar heads back to second base. Space has sold out for tomorrow's 2110 Utah Street, presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. It's Oriole Park Blue Fan Club celebrating Orioles outfielders Nick Markakis and Adam Jones. New dates for 2110 Utah Street have just been added, so join your fellow Nick and Adam fans August 15th, August 30th, or September 5th. Each day for $21, you get a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat, plus an exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. For all the details, 888-848-BURGER, online at Orioles.com. And you could be sitting right there where we just showed you, out behind Adam and Nick.
So Barajas situationally hitting, not a very good job. Batista, base hit his last time, is going to have to get him in. That was a good curveball. Single up the middle on the third consecutive high fastball, swung through the first two and then punched a single over the head of Brian Roberts.
Jose Bautista, one-time Oriole for a brief time.
Yeah, Rule 5 guy.
Yep.
Yeah, the one thing, Toronto, they are 6th in runs scored. The Orioles are 10th. The Orioles are hitting, what, 301 with runners in scoring position. They're only hitting 263. Huge difference.
Line to left, that's going to hang for Scott. Luke is there, 2 men down. But Rich Hill is following the same path as last inning. Leadoff double, trying to get out of it.
Well, you might as well get on the tightrope if you're going to keep throwing leadoff doubles, because. But he's done a nice job, and they haven't advanced the runners after the leadoff doubles. I mean, last inning, he made a great pitch to Adam Lynn, struck him out after Hill doubled. Got rolling the fly out, pitched around Wells, and then made a great pitch to Rios. So a couple of strikeouts in inning number 4.
Marco Scutaro now with 2 men down. 3-game hitting streak going, but he's 0 for 2 in this game. Outside, 1-0.
I just like the fact, and there's 91, is that Rich Hill is throwing the ball tonight. And we'll see how that translates. But this is not a tentative guy. Not the way he's been the last month.
Kevin Millar at second with 2 down. There's a pitch right there for a strike, 1-1.
And again, it's pretty simple. Try to find your release point, because when you're pitching well, they're all out in front of you. And if you're an Oriole infield, if you can't catch it, knock it down. Keep Millar with not a lot of speed from scoring.
Rich Hill has not won a game since June 19th. That was in Philadelphia. That's fouled off the right side. He pitched a fabulous game in the Interleague Series against the Phillies, going 6 2/3, only 2 runs on 5 hits. But since then, 0-1 and a couple of no decisions in 3 starts with a very high ERA. This is only the 2nd appearance in his career against the Blue Jays, having come over from the National League.
See, I'm just trying to watch the ball out of his hand. And Couple of starts, well, I'm going to be a little bit slower, and then he forgot about arm speed. The ball's just coming out of his hand a lot better than it has over the last month.
Slow curve fouled off.
And even that curveball was thrown better. So, you know, the Oriole coaching staff, to be credited, they're just trying to get him back to where he was a couple of years ago when he pitched with the Cubs. So get over the front side. And I think if he has some success, it'll get better because he'll get better confidence. And the question tonight, with Dave Joust, the bench coach, looking at Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, sitting down, is how long do you let him go? You know, bullpen relatively rested. Pitch count real low at 64 there.
2-2 to SCUTARO. Slow curve is hit hard down the line. There's a base hit. And Toronto's going to get on the board as Luke Scott digs it out. Millar will score, and SCUTARO on at second base with a 2-out RBI double.
Well, the 26th double of the year for Marco SCUTARO. He gets a curveball, and right here the Exmo, you can see very much like the double by Chavez, who caught last night on the slider off of Birkin. Again, a very hittable pitch, and he hits it.
So Millar got it started with a leadoff double. He scores. For SCUTARO's 38th RBI in that leadoff spot, and here's one of the best hitters in the league this year, in Aaron Hill. Hard hit ball towards the hole. That's a base hit. SCUTARO will be sent. Luke Scott up with it. He bobbled momentarily, fires wide of the plate, and Wieder's able to knock it down. And we are tied at 2 as the Blue Jays rally here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, Luke couldn't get it out of his glove and then made an ill-advised throw. So you can see where the target is, and you can see Matt Wieder slide back because he doesn't get it to the corner. And then Hill, as you mentioned, only Ichiro with more hits. See right there, you could see not getting it out, and then Matt Wieder makes a terrific play right here. The go-ahead run easily could have got into scoring position. So Rick Kranitz out to slow everything down for Rich Hill.
So Aaron Hill, 36th multi-hit game. And Baez looks like he's stretching his legs out there.
And that's what, second in the American League. Second in total bases, second in hits for Aaron Hill.
You know, if that Ichiro guy wasn't around, he'd be having a pretty good year. Every time you look up, Ichiro's first, Hill is second.
But just think about poor Ichiro. I mean, you would think that you might be leading the league in batting, but Joe Mauer said 388. Poor Ichiro said, what, 360 something.
Yeah, Mauer can hit a little bit.
No, can he ever? And he's going to be in the home run hitting contest. And a lot of people are going to find out. Adrian Gonzalez, terrific player. Met him when he was down with Texas.
Not last night. He got no hit.
Yeah, well, that's a terrific story. Sanchez pitching a no-hitter. His dad was in the stand.
Yeah,
how about Eli Whiteside, the Oriole catcher? A lot of connection.
Yep.
Randy Johnson hurt his shoulder and fielding a ball. He had to go on the DL to bring Sanchez out of the bullpen. 3 weeks exile to the Giants bullpen. And there's another good curveball.
Yeah, Eli was at Fresno and he got promoted. Yeah, that was a real nice moment. I caught that last night live as it happened. And the best part was when his father hugged him after the game. What a sense of achievement for your child to do something like that in a big league game.
And he, of course, they hail from Puerto Rico, and he got there before the game and saw his son pitch a no-hitter. 11 strikeouts, no walks.
And last week they were going to trade him. Randy Johnson got hurt.
He's got more value now.
Yes, he does. Johnny Vandermeer, maybe.
Well, you know, it's funny. It's like hole-in-ones in golf. If you pitch a no-hitter, if you get a hole-in-one, the next time you play golf, you think about the fact that you could do it again. Usually you're trying to make a birdie, get it on the green. If you never pitch a no-hitter, you can't do it twice in a row. But now, hey, why not?
Well, Roger Craig once said that he hoped he had never won 20 games because then they'd expect him to do it again.
A lot of people have said that, Jim.
That didn't bother you too.
Well, one of the great pitchers in Oriole history, Milt Pappas, said that. Oh, I don't want to do that.
2-2, slow curve stays inside. It's high as well. Ball 3.
See, and what happens with Rich is that Now all of a sudden everything is coming up. Third time through the order. This is a pretty good hitter, and he's going to try to drop down here. And he will do that 3 to 5 times a game. I haven't seen him throw it for a strike. It'd be great if he could command it.
Hill will be on the move. Full count and 2 down. Curveball called. Strike 3. Lynn thought he had ball 4, and it broke down on the plate. And Adam Lynn just told Mike DeMuro, you've missed 2 tonight. Blue Jays tie it 2-2.
Blog School of Rock, and I know there's a lot of chatter today about Adam Jones. There has been all week, but last night we did see a play where a ball goes over his head, and the question was asked of Dave Tremblay whether or not he plays too shallow.
Yeah, when that Alex Rios ball cleared his head, he had turned the wrong way, he didn't get back on it. It kind of renewed that debate. Is he playing too shallow? And Dave Tremblay did concede there are going to be some situations later in games where you might want him to move back, where it's like you're protecting a slim lead, you want to keep everything in front of you, you don't want to give up the extra base hit. Otherwise, I think he likes where he's positioned. He thinks for the most part he does get back. He said, you know what, if he's playing back and balls are dropping in front of him, people are going to say he's playing too far back. He goes, what's the happy medium? I'm thinking, well, maybe if he played a medium center, we'd all be happy. That's how my mind works, Amber.
Well, whatever he's doing something right, because he's going to the All-Star game. And the question was also asked of Dave, when you have a 23-year-old that makes the All-Star game, is there any concern that that could go to his head? And has there been talk about that?
Yeah, Dave has no worries at all. It is an interesting question. Is too much happening too soon for this kid? Dave says absolutely not. He's got a tremendous work ethic. Everything, he's worked for everything. Nothing's come easily to him. He's willing to learn. He works closely with John Shelby, the outfield coach, with the hitting coach Terry Crowley. He doesn't think he knows it all. Dave has no worries at all. And he goes, you know what, his mom won't let that happen anyway. And she's a regular reader of School of Rock and writes in once in a while. She's the one who named him Jonesy. She gave him that nickname, and it caught on. A coach heard it. My mom calls me Sweet Pea, so I think he got off pretty easy, actually.
All right, Sweet Pea, let's move on to Chris Ray. What's the update with him?
Yeah, he started a throwing program today. He's going to go to Sarasota, the minor league camp, continue it there. He's got that biceps tendonitis. Nothing serious. When a guy's had Tommy John here, he has arm problems. You kind of hold your breath, but he's okay. He said he couldn't find his arm slot. Maybe he'll go down to Sarasota and find it there, and then he'll be back up.
All right, if you want to chat with Sweet Pea, go to massensports.com. School of Rock. Thanks a lot, Ron.
Thank you.
Jim.
All right, Amber, and Matt Wieters strikes out, leading off here in the 5th. So the second strikeout for Ricky Romero in this tie game.
What was your nickname, Jim? Jim Hunter. What?
Hunts.
Hunts.
That's what they.
That's it.
That's what they called me growing up.
Okay.
All my teammates, they still call me that.
Hunts.
I don't have a clever one like Rock does. It's just a shortened version of my last name.
Thank you.
I don't have a Hall of Fame one like Cakes.
Well, that's one
with a great story behind it.
It's my first commercial.
Yeah. I like pancakes.
Yeah, well, everybody does.
I've
Most
had
people
them
do.
recently. I should do that. And Dino fouls it back.
Well, new life for Ricky Romero. What's he do? He comes out and does his Johan Santana. That was one of our scouting reports. A young Santana, and he comes out and strikes him. Matt Wieters out on a real good changeup.
He's a good-looking young pitcher. 5 of his 7 wins have been at Rogers Center. And Dino pulls that curveball, rolling, throws on the run, and he got him. And 2 men down. Well, Jim mentioned the 2005 draft. Romero was the Blue Jays' first-round pick. He went 6th overall. And check out this draft. Justin Upton, Alex Gordon, Jeff Clement, Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals, Ryan Braun, then Romero. The Orioles had the 13th pick in the first round, Brandon Snyder, who's now in AAA after just going through AA and hitting the ball very well. Garrett Olson was traded for Felix Pie. Then Nolan Reimold in the 2nd round and David Hernandez in the 16th round. So all of those players in that 2005 draft. And Ricky Romero went number 6 overall. So the Orioles have Brandon Snyder on the verge. We don't know when, but he certainly is making them notice. There's a high chopper back to the mound. Romero has it. He turns and fires and out by a step. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll head to the 6th and a 2-2 game.
To Rob Wells, and then the Orioles would take an early lead. Wieters off the glove of Wells, 1-0, and then Luke Scott, 18th home run, 8th against lefties. But the Jays would come back in the 5th. SCUTARO with a double, and then the scores on the Aaron Hill single. So there you go, pitching duel of sorts. Rich Hill out here for the 6th inning. Good to see that, even though a little bit of a struggle in the 5th as they scored the 2 runs.
Scott Rowland fouls it back, leading off the Toronto 6th. Wells and Rios to follow.
I was just watching him, and what happens again when your windup gets a little bit out of kilter, your arm drops, and the warm-ups down a little bit. So let's see if that will translate into anything. It's funny, when I first saw Rich Hill throw in spring training, Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, and Alan Dunn, the bullpen coach, said, well, he's never been a command guy. He's a stuff guy. So it's a matter of throwing strikes. And right there, gets the ball in. So again, 88, throwing some balls, 91. At the end of the day, can you get over your front side? So pretty good windup there. But the head has to go down to bring the ball down. And going to come in again.
High foul out of play.
See, so if you could throw that pitch, so you establish in with 2 strikes. So this is what the hitter is looking at. Does the front shoulder stay square? So if you could have a changeup, and that's the one pitch, a lot of energy by Rich Hill tonight. And that's a changeup misses. But if you could throw it down and away like we've seen Romero, then all of a sudden you really made some strides.
Well, did you like his shoulders there from that view?
Pretty good, yeah.
High fly ball to left. Luke Scott back on it. Has a play. And he's there for the out.
Yeah, he already had that right arm out to find out where the wall was. But again, it doesn't seem the ball is carrying tonight. Right there. There it is. Where is it? And so not playing a lot of left. And And the ball doesn't carry as much as he thinks it is, and he catches it on the grass, not even on the warning track.
Hard hit ball past Mora. That's a base hit for Vernon Wells. So Wells gets his first base hit. Scott plays it back in. Yeah, I'm watching Luke out there. His first indication might be if he actually feels the warning track with his cleats.
There's your expo. And of course, Wells, we told you about the average. 337 on the road. And they're not well received in Toronto now when you're hitting 172. So again, 13 out of 14. Willie Steele. He was actually moving back to first. They have been able to steal on Rich Hill, 7 out of 8 coming into this game.
So Roberts there shading up the middle. He would cover on a steal attempt with the right-hander Rios up. Slow curve for a strike, 0-2.
Alex Rios, and again, you know, a guy you think that one of these years is going to hit 25 to 30 home runs. Good high ball hitter, signed long term.
His career high is 24 home runs. He did that in 2007. Last year, however, he fell off to 15. That was after he got a big contract.
Well, he's a much better fastball hitter than breaking ball. It doesn't mean he can't hit a hanging pitch, but and again, you can see the first base umpire, and that's Ken Culpa, making sure that Rich Hill steps towards first. Boy, would it be nice for Rich Hill to get a ground ball, one of his infielders in turn 2.
Rios fouls it off the other way. Hill has allowed 6 home runs on the year in his 10 starts, only one of those by a left-handed batter. Jacoby Ellsbury, the Red Sox, has that. Oh, 2 on Rios. Fouls off a good breaking ball.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's the one he got on top of.
Alex out of Puerto Rico. He was the Jays' first-round pick in 1999.
Well, he's one of those. I mean, if he could hit for power, and occasionally he'll hit for average, he can do just about everything. Steal bases, 9 stolen bases in the month of June.
High fly ball, left center field. Adam Jones will take charge. Oh, nope, Luke Scott. So Luke has it, 2 men down. So still at first base, Vernon Wells with 2 men down. Fans, get online, Orioles.com, for your chance to win the Nolan Reimold T-shirt Tuesday VIP Experience Sweepstakes. One lucky winner will receive 4 VIP seats and VIP parking for the Tuesday, July 28th game against Kansas City. Plus, you'll win 4 passes to watch batting practice right from the field. Don't miss your chance to celebrate Nolan's run for Rookie of the Year and experience Oriole Park in an entirely different way. Enter today at Orioles.com. See, I think Adam Jones there, Luke hit a home run, so he's letting him have one. It's usually Adam takes all of those.
Well, Luke Scott's had a pretty busy night tonight.
Yes, he has.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I have on my scorecard. That's the one off the bat of Vernon Wells. That was huge. Made a nice play. So they don't really play Millar. Again, he's a pull hitter. They don't play him down in the corner. And you know that's where he's trying to hit it. Well, there you go. See? He said, you don't want to throw too many curveballs. Just when they throw me that fastball, I can double down in the corner. But he always looks fastball and adjusts.
Pop foul back this way.
Hey, the one thing that Rich Hill has done tonight is, again, throw the ball, get it up to home plate. So we've seen a lot of guys sky fastballs, even though they haven't been around the knees. And you think back of some of the ball, Hill hit a double on a ball down. Now the ball to SCUTARO for the double was up. Fastball to Hill was down.
Wells was going. Now he stops. Wigginton getting him in the rundown and gets it to Andino, who tags him out. Well, Vernon Wells did not believe he was tagged. That'll go as a caught stealing on a good move by Rich Hill, and Hill gets out of it. Dale Scott explaining to Vernon Wells, a base hit, none left. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2.
The yard, Orioles first-round draft pick Matt Hobgood is receiving quite an honor. The big right-handed pitcher out of California is receiving an award for Gatorade High School Player of the Year at the ESPY Awards. It'll be in LA on July 15th, but it will air on TV July 19th at 9 p.m. on ESPN. Also, Matt is a finalist for Gatorade Athlete of the Year. That will be announced during the show, so be sure to tune in on July 19th to see the Orioles organization's newest pitcher receive that award. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. And, of course, Hobgood now is at Bluefield, and they are getting him in pitching shape so he can pitch in some games. As Adam Jones takes ball 1 leading off in the 6th. Yet another of the very many solid arms brought into this organization.
Yeah, a lot of intrigue with the #1 draft choice, as we know. Biggest intrigue for me this summer is what's going to happen with Steven Strasburg of the Nationals.
He'll wait till the deadline, and
which they moved back 2 days. It used to be August 15th, and now it's August 17th.
1-1 on Jones, and he looks it over low, ball 2.
And no low strikes tonight. A little bit off the corner. So let's see now. All but 9 of the earned runs, now make it 10, are directly with the long ball for Ricky Romero. There's a good changeup.
Off the end of the bat, Hill charges, gets it to first, and 1 down. Let's go back to that final out of the top of the 6th inning on the pickoff attempt, which will go as a caught stealing. The key is the tag.
Now again, you only won 1 throw, so here's your throw. Andino goes to tag him, and really hard. Nope, phantom tag. Very, very hard for Ken Colquitt to be able to get the angle as an umpire. And of course, Vernon's going to plead his case to no avail. Made a nice move, and he was still in the baseline. Andino, as you could see, was on the grass, had to reach back into the baseline.
Markakis pulls it towards the corner. That's going to get down for a base hit, and it's going to bounce towards the wall. Markakis flying to second base, and he has a 1-out double.
One thing about these Orioles, I'll tell you what, I mean, we have seen all night long routine balls, and they are running their rear ends off. Now, this automatic double right here. And again, a pretty good breaking ball. You want to speed up Nick's bat, throw him a breaking ball. And that's exactly what Romero does. Ball stays under the wall. Play in front of you, you know you're going to make it. Go ahead run now at third. Excuse me.
Here's Aubrey Huff, a chance to get the Orioles to lead back.
Remember, Aubrey with a home run against Romero earlier in the season.
Ball 1 inside. The Orioles have been retired 3 up and 3 down in this game only once. That was last inning. They had a 3-batter inning in the first. Jones singled with 1 down, and Markakis ended it with a double play ground ball. There's a line drive towards the gap, right center field. That's going to get the Orioles the lead, and that gets all the way to the wall. Markakis scores, and there's Huff with an RBI double, and the Birds have the lead back.
Well, I'll tell you could rise some clothes on that rope. I mean, that is a bullet up the gap. You can't hit a ball much harder than this. That ball just rifled into the gap. So the bonus, the run, there he is. Nick Markakis with the third run, and then you get Aubrey Huff into scoring position. You could just hear the sound off the bat. Of course, if you're pitching, you don't like that sound.
Ty Wigginton now takes a changeup for a strike. That is the first time in this game that Romero has allowed back-to-back hits. He's averaging less than a base hit per inning, which as a starter is amazing. Wigginton has a hit tonight.
Well, a chance to add to it right here. All right, got a fastball in the middle of the plate, got a curveball in the middle of the plate. Good hitters hit those pitches. And that's what Markakis and Huff did.
High pop-up wide of first. Millar has a play. And he has it for the out. 2 down as Wigginton is retired. Time now to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. And this was Luke Scott's last at bat. A no doubt about it shot. 18th home run extends his hitting streak to 11 consecutive games. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. So Luke, who has been an RBI machine, he now has 51 during his hitting streak. He has 13 RBIs in the 11 games. Chance for another here with Huff at second base with 2 down. Went too far, fooled by that pitch. 0-1.
Yeah, awfully good breaking ball right there. Curveball, slider. He's thrown both of them tonight.
They're the Oriole home run leaders with Scott 6 ahead of Adam Jones. Adam last hit a home run on June 13th, so it's been almost exactly a month for Adam.
Luke's got 4 this month. Pretty impressive.
Well, that Achilles is healthy, so he has the balance back on his back leg.
Well, he said what you really want. He was talking to the cage today, and he said, listen, you just want to be able to be healthy so you can compete at your best. You know, very religious. You know, tremendous faith in God. So he just, if we look at Danny Baez, Orioles have taken a 1-run lead after 6. Rich Hill's done a nice job tonight for the Orioles pitching.
1-1, high fly ball to right. Did he get enough? Rios is back on it in front of the scoreboard. He will make the catch. So Luke just missed hitting it out, but the Orioles get the lead back. Back-to-back doubles by Markakis and Huff, and a 3-2 Oriole lead. Ages 7 through 16. Each Orioles baseball summer camp features a 4-day instructional program with player appearances by current and former Orioles, plus professional instructors, autograph and photo opportunities, daily lunch, giveaways, and complimentary O's tickets. Orioles.com. Click on Fan Forum to register and find out all the details. Perfect for the youngsters who aspire to be like their heroes.
As we said last night, you got to start somewhere. Good place to start.
Kevin Millar leads off. He was at bat when Vernon Wells was caught stealing on the pickoff move.
Yeah, he comes in hitting about 112 points higher against lefties than righties, but more home runs against righties. And I don't think it's going to take much to get to the bullpen here. I mean, Rich Hill has pitched so well. You want it to be positive. You want to give you a chance to win the game, and the bullpen is pretty well rested, especially you got Baez warming up now. You got Jimmy Johnson well rested. You have it tomorrow and then the All-Star break.
Bullpen is not only well rested, they have been pitching very well as a unit as Baez continues to heat up. Line to left field. Scott in on the ball. He'll have to play it on a hop. A tomahawk swing by Millar, and he has a second hit. Third time tonight the leadoff runner has reached, or leadoff hitter has reached to become a runner. As Millar now has done it twice, and here comes Rick Kranitz, and this might be all for Rich Hill. Remember, Dave Tremblay is serving the second game of his 2-game suspension, so Rick Kranitz in charge of the pitching here.
So there you are, 92 pitches. Probably a little bit of a stretch to even let him face Millar because of the numbers. So let's see what Baez can do as Rich Hill pitches well.
So he pitches into the 7th inning, goes 6 innings plus. Baez coming on at a 1-run Oriole lead. Birds have the lead at 3-2. Tying run is on, so he has left. And here's Danny Baez, who's having a very good year for the Birds.
Yeah, he last pitched on Tuesday, and he had one of those little rough spells where, of course, a big guy, great extension, long armor, had trouble getting the ball down. Gave up a grand slam and a 3-run home run when they were in Philadelphia and the Marlins. But when he's throwing the ball down in the strike zone, very difficult to hit.
Barajas first ball swinging, fouls it off. Well, Jim referred to the bullpen, and Jim, over the past 4 games, here are the numbers for the Orioles relievers. They have been winners in 2 of the 4 with a 1.20 ERA. That is very solid pitching by the relievers.
And we have seen them give the Oriole hitters a chance in some of those games to come back and win games that they trailed it.
Barajas has flied out twice to center field. Of course, in this situation, you don't have to worry about Millar taking off, so Baez can really concentrate on Barajas. Catcher running, a candidate for a ground ball for a double play.
If you can make your pitch, and that's really what the game comes down to. Splitter, sinker. He's got the hard slider. And he misses with a splitter right there. So again, the problem is only when he's gotten behind and the ball has gotten up. Barajas has yet, this is an amazing number, yet to hit into a ground ball double play. And he's been up over 200 and almost 240 times. Boy, that's hard to believe. Must be starting a lot of runners.
Fly ball hitter. Bouncer foul.
Yeah, but every once in a while you gotta roll over. Power guy. That's what it excuse me. Has
second season with the Blue Jays. He'll turn 34 in September.
Anyway, what I was going to say is that
you okay?
Yeah, sure. Little frog came in there, 39 RBIs.
And Baez gets him. Strikeout and one away. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield makes a donation to the Seed School of Maryland for every strikeout recorded by an Orioles pitcher this season. As of July 9th, Orioles pitchers have recorded a total of 505 strikeouts, which means Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield is that much closer to reaching their $25,000 goal for the season. We thank Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield for their commitment to improving the health of the kids in our community through the wellness education programs.
So you know it's not about velocity for Danny Baez, mid-90s. And again, when he's throwing the ball well, splitter's going down, fastball's running. That's how you get those ground balls. And this is down and away there.
So Brian Butterfield, who is managing the Blue Jays tonight, does not go to the bench for DeLucci. In part, I would guess, because the Orioles closer is left-handed. So if you lift your right-handed bat now, if it comes up again in the ninth inning, you'd have the lefty facing Sherrill. There's the 1-1 ground ball toward short, double play ball, and Dino Roberts one back to first. There's a double play, and Baez erases the base runner, and the Orioles get out of it. Today's seventh inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. A hug from Rich Hill as he erased the base runner and got out of it. So this is still Rich Hill's game to win. Welcome back inside our massive broadcast booth. Jim Hunter with Jim Palmer. And the amazing thing about the performance from Rich Hill tonight, we talked about it in the open. Unfortunately, the Orioles really had no idea of knowing which Rich Hill would show up. Tonight was the good Rich Hill. He was very effective.
Well, yeah, we talked about King of the Hill being aggressive. Forget about the bad starts. I think he did a real good job of that. I mean, got to be on eggshells when he's pitched because he just really has been struggling. But tonight he threw the ball well. He made some great pitches. And again, this is pretty good hitting ball club. Second best road average in the American League. He did a terrific job.
You used a Yogiism sort of when you talked about, hey, forget about everything. Don't go out there and think. Just go out there and pitch. He seemed to do that.
I think he did. I thought he threw the ball better. He had better life through the strike zone. He made some big pitches when he needed to. Yeah, we could work on changeups, and I think that's what he's going to do the second half of the season.
I mean, Yogi Berra made the Hall of Fame not thinking and hitting at the same time.
Yogi he just called the pitches. He never pitched. He had 358 home runs. That's why he's in Cooperstown.
Well,
but he knew what to do.
And this is the final start for Rich Hill prior to the All-Star break. This is really something he might be able to build on.
Well, yeah, and the Orioles certainly want to win. I mean, until last night when they played Toronto, it was whoever was playing at home was going to win. So they kind of changed that.
Here's Melvin Mora leading off for the Orioles in the bottom of the seventh. So the Orioles now will go for insurance, and Rich Hill explaining to one of Baltimore's finest how he got the batters out tonight, and the police officer agreeing with him. Yeah, you know, you had that one pitch kind of sailed inside. And then he swung and missed. And, you know, I really like that changeup you threw. That was in the 6th inning. And Rich Hill said, yeah, you know, that was a good changeup there. That's a great shot. Hey, Rich Hill, a nice guy. He's talking to everybody on the bench. You pitch a good game, you get your own security. Meantime, Melvin Mora has run the count to 3-0.
Yeah, he's probably saying, don't you think I should have thrown a changeup back there to Millar? There you go. Make it easy for the bullpen. And again, Romero pitching quite a game tonight, too.
So the leadoff walk. And here is Matt Wieters. Matt Wieters must be wondering if he's ever going to get to bat left-handed again.
Well, that is, I mean, at least
same for
so
Brian
far.
Roberts.
Well, but why? Again, we talk about why it's difficult to win against left-handed starters, because a lot of your guys see, first of all, if you're a switch hitter like Brian or Matt, you see so many more bats, and he just picked Melvin up.
Millar runs it down the hill. Melvin staying in the rundown. Romero's involved with it. Now Millar has it again. Look at all these throws. What's Barajas doing out there? And Barajas finally tags him out.
Well, either Romero came up with a new move or the advanced scouts, because he just did one of those step-off moves, and we've seen it before right there in Melbourne.
So that goes 1 to 3 to 4 to 1 to 3 to 2.
So there goes your leadoff runner. But again, back to our thought is that if you're the switch hitter, number one, you got to maintain 2 swings. You see righties, at least most of the time, more often than you do left-handers. And again, a lot of times you say, okay, well, you were Matt Wieters, I believe, a natural right-handed hitter, as was Brian Roberts, but you learned to hit left-handed. You know, a lot of the singles hitters, it's usually because they want to utilize the speed. If you hit from the other side of the plate left-handed, you're closer to the base. Get down to first base quicker.
Swings through a changeup, 0-2. Well, Matt's been switch hitting since he's 5 years old. But as Jim mentions, there are so many more right-handed pitchers that the switch hitters just get so much more comfortable batting left-handed. A little bit low, 1-2. This is as unusual a stretch as we've seen, though. It's going to be 7 consecutive left-handed starters against the Orioles leading up to the All-Star break.
Well, and what happens is, I mean, just think about it. It's not that Aubrey, Huff, and Markakis and Scott, especially Scott's having a great year against lefties, that they can't hit lefties, but the home runs go down, the extra base go down, RBIs go down, slugging average goes down. Left-handed pitchers neutralize people to some extent.
Pop up, shallow right, Hill taking charge. Second baseman has it for the second out. Tuesday, July 28th. Stop by and help Orioles reach support the Maryland Food Bank and find out if one of your favorite Orioles has what it takes in the kitchen at the Orioles Cook-Off. That's right. You can join Orioles players Brian Roberts, Jeremy Guthrie, and Greg Zahn at ESPN Zone, 11:30 until 1. They'll compete in the team's first ever cooking competition. For more information, OriolesReach.com, or for tickets, 410-685-3776, or visit ESPNZone.com. Amber's been digging for the information. What are the Orioles going to cook?
Well, you know they're competitive, so they're taking this very seriously. Jeremy Guthrie is going to make Spanish tortillas, and Greg Zahn is going to make chicken enchiladas. Brian Roberts is still undecided, but a funny moment. Guthrie informed me that the Spanish tortillas are a Spanish dish from Spain. So I'm glad that he told me that, because I would have not been able to figure that out. When I called him on it, he did tell me French toast is not from France, so he did feel a need to clarify. Jim?
Now, Amber, as I understand it, whichever of the 3 players wins, that dish will be added to the menu at ESPN Zone. Is that right?
That is right, and Greg Zahn is very excited about that. He said at first he wanted to make some sort of omelet, but he found out they didn't have eggs. But he wanted his famous omelet to be on the menu, but he thinks his enchiladas will get there. Jim?
Yeah, I'm betting on Zahn.
All right, Amber,
veteran.
Thank you very much.
Nothing against the 2 other guys, because they have youth on their side, but nothing like experience.
And Jeremy, I would guess, learned how to make the Spanish dish as Jim Johnson gets up when he was on a mission in Spain.
Well, paella. That's you ever had paella? With rice and shrimp and one of the classics.
Andino fouls it off. I probably have, but I can't recall the last time I have. But been around the block. Tried several types of dishes.
I mean, I see him barbecuing all the time, but
who's that, Guthrie?
Yeah.
Does he ever invite you over?
No.
Cook you a steak or?
What are you eating tonight, Jeremy? This afternoon? Well, it was really good. Too bad you missed it.
3-2 on Andino, batting with 2 outs and none on. And he's down on strikes. So Romero, pretty strong inning after the leadoff walk and the pickoff. We'll head to the 8th in a 1-run game. Player of the game. Here are the candidates tonight. Luke Scott has his 18th home run, one of the runs driven in. Rich Hill, who pitched 6 strong innings and stands to get a win, or Aubrey Huff, who doubled to get the Orioles the lead back. So 3 very deserving candidates. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862.
Well, the master plan is quite simply, Jim Johnson usually pitches the 8th inning. You got him the lead. A little bit of a struggle his last start, at least the last inning out in Seattle. Gave up a hit and a base on balls, but got out of the inning unscathed. Again, pretty good numbers. When he's at his best, he throws strikes. He uses the sinker, occasionally the curveball, and he's been working on his changeup, which is outstanding. So again, when he's on his game, tough to muster runs against. And again, not a lot of guys on Toronto, not a lot of at bats, but not very many. Overbay 2 for 4. Other than that, Lynn 1 for 4 and Hill 1 for 2. So he's going to face SCUTARO and then Hill and Lynn right after him.
Fastball inside, 1-0.
He's probably wondering where that pitch was.
SCUTARO 1 out of 3.
And that a double.
There's a strike, 1-1.
And they take away the line. Not at first, but Melvin Moore playing about a step behind the bag just in case he bunts and guarding the line. Take away the double with a 1-run lead.
And he hit it. So SCUTARO hit by a pitch which gets the tying run on, leading off here in the 8th inning.
Well, it gets somebody that can steal bases. Not a lot, 7 out of 11, but this is the last thing you want to do if you're Jim Johnson. So, like I said, he's been a little bit out of sorts over the last 2-3 weeks. And right there you can see Marco getting out of the way as much as he could. He could see it coming.
So Johnson hits SCUTARO leading off here in the 8th inning. We'll see how the Blue Jays play this on the road. Not very likely you're going to have this guy bunt. He is 2nd in the league in base hits.
And he's 1 for 2 off of Johnson. There are the numbers. Boy, are those good numbers.
2nd batter this year that Johnson has hit. Now what you might see here is a hit and run. Hill can hit the ball to right field. Missing inside again is Johnson.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed from Jim Johnson, and it almost looks like maybe something's going on physically, is that he just hadn't commanded the sinker, and that's where it all starts for him. Only 20, well, he just turned 26. And again, another great arm out of the Oriole bullpen. I mean, really, when he's on his game, I mean, he is tough to hit. Great life. Got a good curveball. Doesn't throw it over that much because he doesn't throw it that much. What I liked about a month ago, started using a changeup, which looks so much like the sinker. But lately, that fastball, not the command he would like. And then for some reason, he throws him the curveball. So now you're really into a hitter's count. And this curveball about, what, 2 feet outside. So it's a fastball situation. That's what Hill will look for. Maybe not.
Right. Well, 2-1 on Rich Hill, who has 2 hits tonight, his 36th multi-hit game. Johnson brought on in the 8th in his setup role to protect the 1-run lead.
And I'm not a big fan of playing the line because, you know, Melvin a couple steps off the line, and that's not normally where you play. So Jimmy Johnson makes his fastball down and away. You probably play a couple of steps over. I mean, Melvin would just move 2-3 feet to his left. Because I look at Hill, he's the go-ahead run.
SCUTARO goes, ground ball right back to Jim Johnson. He thought about second, throws to first. Well, that was a fine fielding play there. That ball bounced up on him quickly.
See, so that's what you talk about. If you're going to hit and run, and Brian Butterfield waits till it's 2-1, that's your classic account. So there goes SCUTARO, and this keeps him out of the double play. Probably still could have gotten him. But again, with a 1-run lead, take the sure out. Even though you're going to face the 3-4 hitter coming up.
So the tying run, SCUTARO at second base, only 1 down. Good comeback there by Aaron Hill to get Aaron Hill by Jim Johnson. Here's Lind, who has had a tough night, in particular with the strike zone at the plate. Outside 1-0. He has been called out on strikes twice, and he still doesn't agree with either of the calls.
Well, it's a big strike zone. I mean, if you're somewhere in the neighborhood, I mean, you got to earn it. Glove a couple inches off the corner. And if you hit it, you're probably going to get that pitch.
There's a strike at the knees. 1-1 the count. Well, the hit batsman SCUTARO now in scoring position. Just missed inside, ball 2.
And you can see it's an easy 95. Adam Lind is really having a terrific year. You know, really struggled last year against lefties. This year hitting over 300. Like I said last night, he's kind of their version, maybe not as good defensively. In fact, definitely not as good defensively as Nick Markakis. It's lefties. He can hit for power. He can drive in runners, hitting 284 with runners in scoring position. Uses the whole field, and home run power anywhere. Left center, not a problem.
They are both the same age, Markakis and Lind. They were drafted in back-to-back years. Markakis by the Orioles in 03 and Lind by the Blue Jays in 04. Wieters went out to chat with Jim Johnson.
I mean, he leads the American League in extra base hits. That gives you an idea what kind of year he's having in his second full year in the major leagues.
Bounce foul. Has Dwayne Murphy, the first base coach. 2-2 the count on Adam Lind. I mean, you have Aaron Hill batting second for Toronto, 114 base hits, and Adam Lind batting third with 103. That's a pretty good 2-3 combo.
Well, and then right behind him was Rowland, who's third in the league in batting average, just coming off a 25-game hit streak.
Time requested at the plate. Toronto's at 500. They're 44-44 after losing 10 of their last 13 games. The 2-2 to Lind, and he just did get a piece.
Well, was that a great sinker? If you're going well, that's the ball that he puts it in play. It might have even been a changeup. Watch this ball dive down and away, and that's the pitch I was talking about. The changeup, you could throw a sinker off that, and vice versa. Tough to get a lot of hits off Jim Johnson.
The 2-2 is just inside. Wow, ball 3.
Well, you could see Mike DeMuro stagger back, almost wanted to get that right arm up. And again, now our pitch track, the Masson pitch track, called him out. But the guy that mattered didn't get the right arm up.
3-2 on Adam Lind. And a base hit in the left field. Scutaro will be held at third as Luke Scott plays it back in. Melvin Mora plays the hop and falls down. So Adam Lind with a base hit. And Toronto has first and third and only one down.
Well, how good a hitter is this kid? I mean, again, we talk about Nick Markakis. This is what Nick does. Watch him just go out there. The ball that stayed up just a shade and then hit so crisply. And there's what you talked about, Melvin. And Rick Kranitz going to come out and talk to Jimmy Johnson.
No one getting loose behind Jim Johnson.
Well, you have a young pitcher, you have a young catcher. And let's just get on the right page. You have a guy that is capable of throwing ground balls. That's Jim Johnson. And Roland, even as hot as he is, if you can get the ground ball, you might be able to get out of this inning with a double play. And of course, Roland, what's he doing? He's thinking, okay, I want to get a ball that I can elevate. At the worst case scenario, get a ball that can drive in the tying run.
Scutaro the tying run at third. Adam Lind the go-ahead run at first. Lind rarely runs for stolen bases. He's had 2 attempts on the year.
Now his job is to try to break up the double play if there's a grounder. And the way you do that is get a pretty good lead, your primary lead, and then make sure you get a good jump off the base.
Wigginton holding the bag at first. Foul back, 1-1. Rich Hill started. He went 6 innings plus 1 batter. Baez came on, pitched a scoreless inning in the 7th, got a strikeout and a double play ball. And now Jim Johnson in the 8th. Fouled straight down at the plate, 1-2. So Scott Rowland came into Baltimore riding a 25-game hitting streak, and he is now 0 for 7 in this series.
Tired.
Streak ended last night.
Don't you think he's tired? All those hits, all those games. And it was some streak, 41 for 105. It wasn't one hit a game. If you got him where you want him, I think you can make your pitch.
1-2 on him. And just inside again. Fastball's got a lot of movement on it.
Well, but he pitches, Jim, and if you look at his numbers, and they're really surprising to me, is that lefties are 179 and righties are 309. He's more comfortable running the ball away from lefties. Once again, looks like they're going to come in.
High fly ball to left field. Luke Scott back on it. Has a play. This is certainly deep enough to tie the game. Scott has it. He fires towards second base. Runner coming to second and safe at second base, as Lind was able to slide around the tag as the throw was not at the base. So the sac fly by Rowland has tied the game at 3. And that hit batsman comes back to hurt Jim Johnson.
Yeah, it's just like a base on balls. And then right here for Adam Lind, the play's in front of him, so he can pick what side of the base he wants to slide into. And right there's your time run. Scutaro, who didn't get hit by that pitch. So the bullpen gives up a run, at least so far. And it doesn't get a whole lot easier with Wells. Again, remember, it's such a good hitter on the road. 337 coming into this game.
So Rich Hill cannot win this game. He has now pitched to a no decision. And there's a strike to Vernon Wells. Vernon singled his last at bat. He has flied out to left and walked. Adam Lind at second base. It would have been interesting if Luke had thrown that ball at the base, because Brian Roberts did have time to apply a tag, but unfortunately the throw was well off the bag and Lind was able to slide around it.
Well, that's part of your scouting reports. Luke Scott can flat out hit, but his arm strength is average. There's a good sinker right there. So again, you listen to your scouting reports. You got Dwayne Murphy over there as we look at Brandon Lee. It looks like he's ready to come into the game. And they say, you know what, take a chance. Why not? And again, I think the most important thing is that as you're running to second base, you can see where the throw is coming. Very tough tag for an infielder, especially a second baseman.
1-2, he got him. Vernon Wells swings through it. And the go-ahead run left stranded out there at second base. But Toronto rallies back to tie. Bottom of the 8th coming up. And a 3-3 game. Action series finale in the final game before the All-Star break. Matt Bergeson will be on the mound against Mark Zepchinski. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1 o'clock with those extra presented by AT&T, and then game coverage at 1:30 on MASN 2 and WJZ. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. Romero stays on. Brian Roberts ground ball through the middle. There's a base hit. And the Orioles get the go-ahead run on here, leading off in the 8th inning.
So let's see.
Brian snaps his 0 for 14 with that base hit. More importantly, he gets on.
Yeah, and it's difficult to run against Romero. And I think that's, if you're Brian Butterfield, you have to think about it. Pitch count. That pitch count now, what, 101 matchups. There we go right there. And talk about this season when Brian Roberts scores a run, 25. Look at Jeter. Ichiro. I mean, you get an idea. Rollins was the number that I saw today, how important it is. And of course, he was hitting 215 at one point. So as he goes, the Phillies go.
Adam Jones changeup outside, 1-0.
And the one thing, and even though Adams already hit more home runs than he did all last year, has the ability to hit the ball to right field. So there's your pitching coach on the right, Brad Arnsberg, and Brian Butterfield, the interim manager. Let's see. There's that correct move. Melvin Moore got caught sleeping and got picked off. So again, they've only attempted 6 steals, 3 out of 6. So he controls the running game for a youngster pretty well. And no doubt, as you mentioned, Cal State Fullerton, good program, learned that in college.
Good eye taken by Adam. Ball 2. Adam has a base hit. He's 1 out of 3 now with a 4-game hitting streak.
Well, he's certainly due for a home run. Let's see if he gets a hittable pitch, something he can drive. They play him to right center field.
Change up floats in there. 22 games without a home run. 48 at bats without an extra base hit. But the consistency still there.
Yeah, it's just about home runs.
Ground ball, second double play ball. Hill to SCUTARO, back to first and out. At first base, Millar somehow kept his foot on the bag. So Jones hit it hard to right at Hill. That erases the base runner and 2 men down.
And you can see Brian Roberts getting in the way. Yep. And then a snow cone from Kevin. Yep, they got that call right. Nice play.
Well, Oriole fans certainly know about the footwork of Millar over there. He saved his shortstop an error and got his pitcher an extra out. So 2 down. Here's Markakis. Takes a strike on 1. Nick has also fallen into a home run drought. 22 games without one. George Sherrill getting up to come on and pitch in the ninth.
Or if you get a lead, you might see Jimmy Johnson in a tie ball game for another inning. Certainly capable of pitching that inning. Yeah, only 1 home run against left-handed pitching this year. And it's kind of interesting. You talked about all the left-handed starters, but Nick was talking before the game. He had 195 at bats last year against left-handed pitching. Already this year, 145. This is 145th. So a lot of left-handers compared to last year. Not only for Nick, but for the rest of the Oriole hitters. And there's a breaking ball outside. Nice eye. Yeah, but you really got to trust the home plate umpire to take that pitch.
From 0-2 to 2-2 on Markakis with Aubrey Huff on deck.
And remember, the double was on a breaking ball earlier on. Well, there's your pitch count for Ricky Romero.
Bouncer, that's a fair ball back of the bag. Millar will go to the base unassisted. The Orioles down in the 8th. We'll head to the 9th at Camden Yards in a 3-3 game. By Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by Bud Light. With just the right taste that never fills you up, the difference is drinkability. Saturday night downtown. And a good game here at Oriole Park. 3-3. Orioles twice have had leads. Twice the Jays have come back to tie. And here's George Sherrill brought on in this tie game. His job, get it to the bottom of the ninth, 3-3, and hope the Orioles can get a walk-off.
Well, that's what the strategy is. And he's been very good. Couple of saves. Got one Wednesday. So 19 out of 22 for George Sherrill. There you go. Pretty good numbers, wouldn't you say? Last 25 appearances. Changed his windup. Got a little bit more closed. Velocity went up. Curveball a little bit better. Now, Rios with pretty good numbers, so that'll be the first challenge for George Sherrill. Rios 2 for 4 with a home run.
Sherrill will face 3 consecutive right-handed batters. Curveball for a strike on 1. Rios has grounded out to short, struck out swinging, and flied out to left. Same pitch, same result, and it's 0-2. Jim Johnson goes 1 inning, 1 run on 1 hit. The hit batsman leading off the inning came back to hurt him. As SCUTARO moved into scoring position on the ground ball, went to third on the base hit. As Rios fouls it back with a defensive swing and then scored on the sac fly by Rowland.
Yeah, they had a couple of good at bats. The Lynn at bat, the single into left, and then Scott Rowland, Jim Johnson trying to get a double play ball. He got a pitch he could get in the air and hit it deep to left field for the sacrifice fly.
Johnson did a very good job with the tying run at, or go ahead run at second base with 2 down, getting the strikeout of Wells. 1-2 on Rios. Foul back again.
They're aiming for you, Jim.
I'm ready. Jason Frazier and Scott Downs. Frazier to come on and pitch if the game remains tied. Downs the closer to come on and pitch if there's a save opportunity. Over but low. 2-2.
Now Rios makes a nice adjustment. First 2 pitches breaking balls, and they were good ones.
That looked like a little different delivery from George, than almost like a quick pitch.
Well, he does that, and you know, with nobody on, you can't.
Ground ball towards third. Melvin Mora plays the hop and gets it across to get the hustling Rios and 1 away.
Yeah, if you run them out, even the routine plays aren't routine. And we have seen both teams tonight beat it down the base pass. I mean, any bobble, errant throw, you're on.
To me, every major league player should do that every time he runs. It's 90 feet. You can take a rest if you're out. I
understand that.
It's one pet peeve of mine.
And the good players do that.
When Millar takes low, I mean, we find ourselves in this role complimenting players because they do it, because it's seen somewhat infrequently.
Sometimes. Tonight, both teams did.
Yeah. Millar pops it up. And Dino out. Scott in. Scott calls him off. Has it for the out and 2 down. $28,281 on hand on this beautiful Saturday night.
Yeah, marvelous weather. It looked like it was going to heat up a little bit today. Nice, real nice kind of early. Then it got a little cloudy. Then the wind came up. Then it got a little warmer.
Doesn't feel humid at all.
No. What's going on? You'd almost think you're not in Baltimore.
Rob Barajas now. Bounce towards third. Melvin Moore charges to play the big hop and gets it across. Very solid inning for George Sherrill. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom of the ninth coming up. The Birds can win it with a run.
tight game here, tied at 3.
It is. Rich Hill, who gets a surprise start in this ballgame, pitched very well tonight. The Orioles go into the bottom of the 9th in a tie ballgame and a chance to win it right here.
The Orioles have shown some firepower once again with Luke Scott hitting another home run, his 18th. We'll have complete highlights, but let's get ready for the bottom half of the 9th inning. Game tied at 3. Let's go back to Jim and Jim.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. And the Orioles, as Rick pointed out, you get a run, the game's over. So the Orioles will come up here with a good spot in their lineup. It'll be 4, 5, and 6. 3 home run threats against Jason Frazier.
We saw him last night, third of an inning. Power pitcher, got a splitter, throws in the 93 to 95. Having a real good year. He has only given up, at least coming into this game, he's given up a run in 5 of his 35 games, which means obviously he's having a good year. The numbers support that, because a lot of times you come in with runners on, it may not be your runs. And again, in the inherited runners, 7 out of 16 have scored, but he has good stuff. Of course, the Orioles only need 1 run and they go home the victors. But sometimes it's not easy to get that elusive 1 run. Good guy coming to the plate, though.
And in case you're wondering, Frazier has surrendered only 1 home run on the year. Aubrey Huff, 1 out of 3, his RBI double in the 6th, gave the Orioles a 3-2 lead.
Now, he crunched a line drive up the gap in right center field. So you start looking at numbers, matchup. It is a game of matchup. 2 for 4, Huff off of Frazier.
Fastball's high, 1-0. The Blue Jays use a modified shift against Aubrey Huff, certainly not as extensive as we've seen as of late. You see the shortstop, SCUTARO, he's shading towards the middle, but he's still on the shortstop side, and Aaron Hill is in the hole at second base, but he's still in the infield. Bouncer towards first. That'll be a foul ball down the line.
Yeah, that was a split-fingered fastball, which tumbles, and you get a lot of ground balls.
If Huff gets on, you'll likely see PA to pinch run. Too high. The Blue Jays acquired Jason Frazier from the Dodgers just before opening day in 2004. Even up in exchange for Jason Worth. The Orioles had drafted Jason Worth. He was a first-round pick of the Orioles. The Orioles traded him to Toronto for left-handed pitcher John Bale. He really didn't put it together there. He did in LA, however. And now he's going to the All-Star game as a backup from the Phillies, Jason Worth.
Yeah, played on their world championship team. Real good defensive outfielder with power. But here you go. Hitters count. What'd you mention? 1 home run? Aubrey doesn't have to try to hit home run. But certainly, if he puts a good swing on him, it can happen.
Popped it up. SCUTARO and Hill. SCUTARO taking charge. And he has it for the out and 1 down here in the Oriole 9th inning. Well, let's give you an update on the voting for tonight's AT&T Player of the Game, as voted on by the fans. And Luke Scott at 43%, leading Rich Hill and Aubrey Huff. Still time to vote. Text in your vote now. Have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. And Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra Post Game.
Yeah, Frazier got away with a hanging changeup. Home run swing, but Aubrey popped it up.
Here's Ty Wigginton, home run power. Breaking ball's high, 1-0. Wigginton doubled and scored in the 2nd. Now has a 3-game hitting streak going. I'm not sure he was looking for that pitch.
No, he wasn't, but he did. Just in case it was in somewhere where the bat head was, took a healthy rip. That was an awfully good breaking ball. Frazier has good stuff, and his numbers certainly support that. I mean, there's your fastball. good fastball hitter, and he's late on it. Then 94 and splitter and changeup.
Barajas lost his mask on that foul ball. He prefers the traditional style catcher's mask, not the helmet style. So 1-2 on Ty Wigginton. Too tight with a fastball, 2-2. Wigginton has 1 home run in the month. He hit one out on July the 1st. 2-2 is down and away, ball 3. That was a real good take right there. That's that pitch the pitcher's hoping you'll chase, and then when you swing, you can't reach it.
Well, that's what a slider's supposed to do, especially if you establish your fastball early on. Luke Scott waiting on deck, already with a home run tonight. But he's established he will throw any pitch in any count. He did that to Huff, 3-1. Think maybe you're getting a fastball. Popped up a high changeup.
3-2, line drive, base hit into left field. Winning run is on with 1 down. Oh, Ty Wigginton just had some at bat after falling behind 1-2 in the count.
Yeah, he was all over that high heater. And watch this. Boom. He already doubled on a high fastball to right center off Romero. I think we're getting the message, which we already knew. Pretty good high ball hitter out over the plate.
He's been a tremendous addition to this team.
Yeah, it took him a while to get going, but he can play all over, and we found that because of position changes and whatever interleague play. He's played shortstop, he's played second, played very well as shortstop, and I mean at second base. Played first, can play third, can play the outfield, and this guy can hit.
Winning run on at first, 1 down. Luke Scott up. High fastball, 1-0. Let's go back to the 4th inning as Luke connected for number 18. And that also extended his hitting streak to 11 consecutive games. Good eyeball, too.
Yeah, I think right here, if you're Rod Barajas, you're catching for Toronto and Jason Frazier, you got to say, where can I go where the ball is going to stay in the ballpark? This outfield playing very deep. That's not what they traditionally do, but they've moved back. And yeah, they're trying to keep the ball in front of them.
And with Wigginton at first, it's not a certainty that he'd be able to score on it.
But he's got pretty good for a big guy. He runs well. Not a very big lead, though.
Home run swing, he missed it. 2-1.
But again, knee high, and again, it doesn't mean that this pitch doesn't get hit because it ends up pretty much in the middle of the plate, but it is more difficult to get to away than the ball belt high inside middle.
Wigginton measuring his lead. A modest lead with Millar holding the bag.
One thing about Luke, he crowds the plate. So balls that you think are on the outside quarter of the plate, he's able to reach. And again, there's no stronger person on this Oriole team.
2-1 is a slider, low ball 3, and that's how zoned in he is right now. That pitch he didn't even sniff at. 3-1.
So he gets to look for his pitch here. Doesn't have to chase. Frazier's in the hole. And again, if it's not a strike, take the walk and let Mora win it.
3-1 on Luke Scott. Swings through it again, 3-2.
So you can see he's got good stuff. Not that he just let it go. At the end of the day, that's probably what Jason Frazier does the best. When he's able to keep it out of the middle of the plate, just explode it.
You saw Ty Wigginton nodding to T-Bone Shelby at first.
Well, perfect pitch to run on, even though he's got a minuscule lead, so I don't think he's going to run.
And Scott down on strikes. Huge out for Jason Frazier. 2 men down. 3 swings and 3 misses in the at-bat.
And how often do you see somebody throw 3 fastballs by Luke Scott? Doesn't happen too often.
Ryan Butterfield managing tonight in the absence of Cito Gaston. Anxiously looking on.
Well, I told him you did a great job last night. You told the guys when to get the hits, and you told your pitching staff not to let the Orioles get any runs. He just kind of smiled. He said, I did do a pretty good job, didn't I?
Melvin Mora has walked a couple of times. He has also flied out to center field. Breaking ball is low. Melvin has hit in his last 3 games. He has 61 hits on the year. 11 of those extra base hits. 9 doubles and 2 home runs. Wigginton singled with 1 down. He's at first with 2 men down. Wow, that was a strike. 1-1. Romero went 8, 3 runs on 7 hits. Now Frazier here in the 9th.
There's another one. Perfect slider. Blow it away. This guy's stuff is electric.
Not a big guy. List him at 5'10". He doesn't even look that tall.
No, but he's got an arm. And he's making great pitches.
He's been with the Tigers, Dodgers, and Blue Jays organizations. Originally was drafted by the Tigers, a 33rd round pick. 1-2 is fisted foul.
And of so many young pitchers, when he did come up, he was a starter. I mean, some of the greatest relievers of all time have been starting pitchers. I often talk about Stu Miller, the great changeup guy. He was a starter. Lee Smith started. Reardon started. Fingers. Gossage. Eckersley. Bruce Sutter started.
1-2 on Mora. Outside, ball 2.
Boyd Wellham actually started games. I don't know if they originally probably did start as a starter. The great knuckleballer.
John Smoltz started and relieved. Now he's starting again. 2-2. Wigginton at first. He's the winning run. 2 men down in the bottom of the 9th. Ball hit towards short. SCUTARO to second. That'll force Wigginton, and that ends the inning. So a base hit and a man left. We're heading to extra innings at Oriole Park. Inner Harbor. And a good baseball game here at Camden Yards as we head to the 10th. 3-3 game. Blue Jays able to tie it with a run in the 8th. And here's Brian Bass on to work in the 10th. He will face 9-1-2.
Got a win in his last appearance in Seattle. And the Orioles came back with 3 runs in the 9th to win it. Been pitching very well for the Orioles. Usually the only time there's a glitch is when he gets overworked. Starters don't do their job. It wasn't the case tonight. Rich Hill got him into the 7th inning. And then was relieved by Danny Baez. Jimmy Johnson gave up a run in the 8th. And Sherrill pitched the 9th. And here is Brian Bass. Sinker, curveball, changeup pitcher.
Jose Bautista will lead off. 1 for 3 with that single. Breaking ball for a strike, going 1. Hard hit ball. Brian Roberts can't reach it. There's a base hit. Roberts was shading up the middle, and Bautista hit him past him the other way. Go ahead run is on, leading off here in the 10th.
Yeah, sharply hit ball. Brian will lay out to his left, but a screamer into right field, and you would imagine that Scutaro will be trying to get him into second place. Scott down, their closer still up just in case they get the lead.
Scutaro on the year does have 4 sacrifice bunts. Mora is in at third expecting a bunt. Throw to first. Throw sailed on Wigginton, but he gloved it. Bautista does have 3 steals on the year. Squares the bunt, bunts it foul.
Yeah, he bunts the ball and almost hits him. Already got hit. He scored the tying run back in the 8th. Just a 2-seamer, and again Brian Bass drops that arm. Ball keeps running into righties. When I first came into baseball, they said everybody bunt situation, throw the high fastball, and then the late Charlie Lau, who had gone to be one of the better hitting instructors in the history of the game, would say, you know what, as a former catcher, he said the breaking ball so much harder to bunt because to drop the bats unless you're able to bunt perfectly. See what they throw right here. Pitch out. Yep.
So the Orioles were anticipating that the play would be changed and a hit and run might be on, but Bautista stayed put at first base.
I would think that Brian Butterfield's going to take his chances if Scutaro can get him into scoring position. With Hill, as you mentioned, I don't know if you'll pitch to him, but he's the second leading hitter.
Bunt is down. Wieters has 1 play at first, and he gets it there. So the sacrifice is successful. Scutaro advances Bautista to second base, now with 1 down.
So your choice is, and it's not a real good one, you pitch around the guy that has the second most hits and is going to the All-Star game, Aaron Hill, or do you walk him to pitch to the guy that has the most extra base hits? And got the single to get him going in the 8th inning. Adam Lind.
Well, if you walk him, you set up the chance for double play, but the Orioles are not going to go that route, as Hill will be pitched to at least early on in this at-bat.
And you don't have that matchup lefty in the bullpen, even though Lynn this year is hitting lefties really well.
Bouncer towards third. Mora charges. He'll throw on the run. Back towards third base, and getting into third is Bautista. Wigginton thought about it as Andino was getting over there to cover, but it looked like Robert was still in motion, and Wigginton held on to the ball. So 2 down. That go-ahead run now at third.
And it does set up any kind of pass ball or wild pitch. So now who do you pitch to? You pitch to Lynn, and Matt Wieters looking over. And here comes Rick Kranitz, because they're going to have a little discussion.
And Brian Bass has thrown 3 wild pitches on the year, which is actually a lot for a reliever.
Well, that's the curveball, and every once in a while he'll buzz one up and in. But again, the 6th best scoring team in the American League. Well, this is the pitching coach saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we'll see if they're going to pitch to Lynn or they're going to pitch around to a guy that's just coming off a 25-game hit streak. sacrifice fly tied that game up back in the 8th. And that's Scott Rowland. You're looking at him right there.
So Bass will go to work on Adam Lind, who helped the rally in the 8th against Jim Johnson. He singled to get SCUTARO to third, where he then scored on a sac fly. There's a strike at the knee, 0-1. One for 4 in the game is Adam Lind. Just missed. Adam Lind played in college at South Alabama. He will turn 26 at the end of next week on Friday. Bass falls behind 2-1.
We talk about the comparison to Markakis. 29 hits to left field, 35 up the middle, 40 to right.
Bounce to second base. Brian Roberts plays the hop. He'll get it to first, and Brian Bass pitches out of it. Nicely done. A hit and a man left. Bottom of the 10th coming up. The Birds looking for a run. Networking sites, Facebook and Twitter. Visit facebook.com/Orioles and become a fan of your Birds. You'll get the latest Orioles news and receive special ticket offers. Then visit twitter.com/BirdlandInsider and follow the O's. You'll be the first to learn behind the scenes information directly from the team's communication department. All the Birdland news you need is just a click away. Brandon Lee comes on in this tie game in the 10th. Wieters and Dino scheduled second, then Brian Roberts.
Yeah, always had a good arm. Second round draft choice. There are the numbers for him. Almost a hit per inning, but the walks down. A lot of strikeouts. Has lost his last 4 decisions, so when you see the 1-4 record, that is why. Lefties hit him pretty well at .290.
Outside, 1-0. First time tonight, Wieters is batting left-handed. He doubled off the glove of Vernon Wells, who charged in on his shallow pop. Looked like he broke his bat and fouls it off the other way.
Yeah, Lee came up throwing close to 100 miles per hour, and this will be his 3rd year in the major leagues. Been up and down, some shoulder problems. Always had a great arm. A matter of harnessing it. Born in Sacramento, lives in Hawaii, went to high school there.
One and one on Wieters. Good eyeball too. So Wieters trying to get on as the winning run here, leading off in the 10th. Throws it back the other way.
Well, a lot of late life. Middle 90s, 96 miles per hour on the radar gun, sinking down and away. Well, it's very difficult to try to hit a home run and actually do it. I always talk to hitters that hit home runs, and I said, "You ever hit a home run when you tried?" He said, "No, but I got myself out a lot trying to."
2-2 is swept towards short. Rolen cuts in front. Third baseman throws off balance, but gets Wieters and one down.
And you can see the sink on that fastball, so hard to put it in the air.
Rolen covering a lot of ground there to help out his pitcher. Oscar Salazar is now going to come out in Dino's spot. Orioles looking for a long ball here.
A pinch hitter deluxe. Terrific year to start the season down at AAA Norfolk.
Oscar was 1 for 3 on the just completed road trip through Anaheim and Seattle.
Yeah, and that hit led to that. He was in that 3-run inning when the Orioles came back to win it in Seattle. By the 3-run home run off of Masterson when the Orioles came back, and there's a changeup. The bottom dropped out of. Boy, was that a good pitch? Another split-fingered fastball. Well-intentioned swing. There's another one. So again, Masterson was a hanging slider, the 3-run home run. But again, League made 2 awfully good pitches, and there's a splitter grip.
Oh, 2 on Salazar, 1 out, none on. Down and in, same pitch, 3 in a row. Oscar last homered on June 30th against the Red Sox. That was in the wild comeback win when the Orioles trailed it 10-1. Just did get a piece, fights it off to stay alive.
Well, you're getting an idea. The Orioles hitting instructor Terry Crowley, one of the great pinch hitters of my era, and the Crow. You know, you'd see him trying to stay loose and all that, and then he, as Oscar is, sitting around for 9 innings, and Gossage be out there with fingers, and you go get a back row and get a hit. And you don't get to see pitches, you don't get to time them, and this guy's throwing 96 with a great splitter.
And he got it. So Salazar down on strikes and 2 men down in the 10th inning.
Real tough job. Great movement right here. And he's able to go to that splitter grip, and the ball just tumbles out of the strike zone. There's your X-Mo. Ball just not where the bat head is. That's what movement's all about. Or if you do hit it, good movement gets it off the good part of the bat.
And Brian Roberts now will bat left-handed for the first time tonight. Ball 1 outside. Brian snapped it 0 for 14 with an 8th inning single. Foul back the other way. 1-1 on Roberts. Brandon League has been in the Blue Jays system his entire career. He was drafted originally in 2001. Outside ball 2. That's got to be tough if you're like Brandon League or Shane Victorino, the Phillies, and you live in Hawaii in the off season. You can't just fly there for a couple of days during the year. It's too far. Ground ball right back to League. He's got it. And he'll get it to first, and the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down in the 10th. On we go. We'll head to the 11th, tied at 3. over at shortstop. Andino was lifted for the pinch hitter Salazar, so Cesar off the bench, and Brian Bass stays on for his second inning of work. He'll have to go through 4, 5, and 6 in this tie game.
Yeah, and then the Orioles will send up 2, 3, 4.
Scott Rowland responsible for the tying run in the 8th on a sac fly. Curveball stays inside, 1-0. Scott Rowland now 34 years old. He's in his second season with Toronto. He had been with the Cardinals, but didn't see eye to eye with Tony La Russa. And they traded him to Toronto for Troy Glaus. He had 11 home runs last year for the Jays, played in only 115 games.
Yeah, that front shoulder, the one that has bothered him, gets you to the ball, bothering him. And there's another good curveball to him. One more year on his contract with the Blue Jays. It's kind of an interesting article. You read all the blogs, some of the Toronto paper, whether it's the Toronto Sun or the Star or whatever, they were talking about how a lot of times people say, well, Toronto's a small market, but it really isn't. 8 million people, 33 million viewers all across Canada. But again, when you lose 4 of your starters, and you were over 500 last year, it's tough to be as good as you want to be, especially in this division.
Brian Bass wanted another baseball.
If you go back to the early 90s, they had, what, 4 straight years where they drew over 4 million people, won 2 world championships.
Yeah, they'd sell out 50,000 every night in that huge stadium, which was Sky Dome, now Rogers Center. The 1-2 is high, 2-2.
Why wasn't it the Sky Dome?
I don't know.
Yeah, they always called it Sky Dome.
That was it, yeah. Yeah, if you said the Sky Dome, you were technically incorrect. It was just
Sky Dome.
Singular. Low ball 3. So Rowland down 1 and 2 has worked the count full. Sharply grounded foul. Look out in the stands. That ball skipped all the way up about 12 rows.
Well, you can see how quick he is. Doesn't hit a lot of home runs. For the year, only 6. But again, when you're healthy, especially if you've hurt, we saw that with Ryard Zimmerman in the National. He hurt his left shoulder and was at a struggle last year, especially the last couple of months.
3-2 is a tapper. Tough play if it stays fair, and it will. There's a swinging bunt infield hit for Rowland leading off here in the 11th inning.
Yeah, you think if Brian Bass could get a ball away that he would have a good result, and he does. He gets the sinker, and then he gets unlucky. And he's going to try to slide into it just in case he might have a play, but it's like they said, Scott, speaking about Scott Rowland, you can take the ball, you don't have to hit it, you can just roll it down the third baseline exactly where you want. That's where that ball ended up.
Got on that grass and stayed there. So here is Vernon Wells now. Go ahead and run on. Second consecutive inning against Bass. The leadoff hitter has singled. Bautista singled to right in the 10th, and Rowland an infield hit here in the 11th. There's a strike.
Yeah, Brian Bass could throw that sinking fastball to take it to the bank. Really tough to do much with that. I mean, unless your approach as a right-handed hitter is to take the ball the other way. We saw Bautista do that last inning to lead off the inning.
1-1. Wells 1 hit tonight. He singled in the 6th inning. He's also been on base via a walk. 1 for 3 officially for the 30-year-old out of Texas. Slow roller, nearly the same place that it was going where Rowland hit it, but that one hit the dirt and it bounced backwards.
Well, that's the kind of result you want when Brian Bass pitches for the Orioles, ground balls. But he would like to have one hit at one of his mid infielders and maybe turn a double play.
1-2 is inside, 2-2. So Wells, the 2 pitches he has taken were in that vicinity in the strike zone where he's trying to hit that inside corner and it moves off the plate. And he got him. Vernon Wells down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, you really don't throw much of a better sinker than this. Watch the bottom just drop out. If he hits it, it's probably going to be a grounder. And that ball just sinks under Vernon Wells' bats for the strikeout. It was just kind of a gift from the Twins last year, Brian Bass, to the Orioles when they ran out of pitchers, all the injuries.
Yep. Well, that's where your scouts come in.
Yep.
And you know, every organization has scouts that follow other organizations. I saw Bruce Keeson here tonight. He's an Orioles scout that follows other clubs for Andy McPhail. And those scouts, they have the major league team, the AAA team, and the AA team. And they have to know everybody in the system from AA up. So if a trade is necessary, throw to first, and breaking was Roland. Wigginton running him towards second base as Torres has it, running him back towards first. And Wieters drops the ball.
Well, the only good news is they ran him back to first. But you picked him off. He just hold the ball. He commits himself. Should be one throw. Tag him. But right here. And the misplay by Wieters, which will be called an error. No more than 2. And I think right there you could see, I don't know if Matt told. I think it was it Wigginton in front of him or Brian Bass? It might have been Brian Bass. Kind of told him to get out of the way and then couldn't handle the throw. Matt's trying to back up at first base.
Rios swings through, and Wieters has been charged with an error for dropping the ball. Orioles' first error tonight. But how often do you see 2 plays in the same game where the catcher gets involved in a rundown on the bases? It happened when Mora was picked off in the 7th when Barajas got involved. Barajas made the tag. But here Wieters dropped the ball. Those are plays you have to make.
Well, you practice them all spring, but even on some of the good clubs that I played on, I remember when Hank Bauer, no more than 2. We had 7 one day in Anaheim.
Rather sharply fouled down the line. So instead of 2 outs and the base is empty, you have 1 out. And the potential go-ahead run still on at first base. Well, Roland, without a doubt, was going on movement because he just broke.
Yeah, and that's why you're taught to hold the ball. If you hold the ball, a lot of times a runner, and we just saw it there, will commit himself, get anxious.
Just inside. Wow.
Yeah, he wanted that pitch. I am not sure this one went around the plate. It got the strike zone. Romero usually calling. It's been a long night for him. Early on, that was a strike. I mean, just think about 11 innings, all these pitchers, all these pitches.
He has called out 4 tonight, but none have been called out since the 5th inning. 2-2 inside, ball 3.
So now Roland will be running. I would imagine he'd be running. You would think that would be the case. And there's your primary lead. Let's see, he gets a good seconder. There he goes.
And it's fouled off. So rolling back to first. Of course, with the runner going, it makes it harder to try to turn to.
Well, how many times did we see that in that last series? You get ahead of a hitter, then they'd run the count to 3-2, less than 2 outs. He'd be taken off. 2 outs, you know he's running.
Roland goes, and a hard hit ball off the glove of Melvin Moore in the shallow left field. That will allow Roland to get to third as Torres runs it down. And the Jays have something going now. That botch play at first base is huge, as Rolen, who should be out, is now at third.
Well, you in essence give them an extra out, and you can see Melvin playing the line. Again, Roland's going to, right here, he's thinking, well, I can get in, and then he sees the ball go off Melvin Moore's glove, and he will go all the way to third base. So there's, you can see, gets to that high fastball. The Exmo speeds it up.
So Rolen at third. He's the go-ahead run. Rios is at first, and Lyle Overbay will be pinch hitting here for Kevin Millar. Doing the lefty-righty first base platoon here, and there's a breaking ball. It's a strike, 0-1.
Overbay, who came in last night 1 for 2 with a walk, had come in 3 for his last 37. And the reason it got Millar is last year he didn't any home runs against left-handed pitching. Normally he's a very good hitter against left-handers. Last year he hit .215. One of those years where you struggle, and then Kevin Millar gets picked up, hit 20 home runs for the Orioles, and he goes to Toronto.
Ball and a strike on Overbay.
Strikeout or a double play for Brian Bass, and now he puts himself in a position to maybe try to get the strikeout. Remember, Rios can really run at first. 14 steals, 9 of those in the month of June. And you can see he's going to get a stolen base type of lead.
Here's the 1-2. Slapped foul. This is one of those situations where you hope that the law of averages don't factor in, because as Jim mentioned, Overbay is just 3 for his last 22. That on this road trip.
Well, the good thing for him is he doesn't have to get a base hit here.
Breaking ball is down.
And the one number that when he started the game last night is, yeah, he was struggling. His batting average going into last night's game was .249, but hitting .300 with runners in scoring position. Now a fly ball. We saw it with Rolen getting the tying run in. Doesn't have to get a base hit. But you have a sinker baller trying to get a double play ball or a strikeout. And Overbay trying to elevate the ball.
2-2. High pop up near the dugout. Then that's going to be out of play. It's about 6 rows back. There's Rolen at third. Jays got a break when the Orioles botched the rundown. And Overbay trying to get him in. 3-3 in the 11th. And again he fouls it off. Bass faced 4 batters in the 10th. He's facing his 4th in the 11th.
Yeah, he came up through the Kansas City organization, was a starter. But last year, until he came to Baltimore, all his games in the bullpen for the Twins.
And he struck him out. Oh, he waved at a breaking ball that bounced in the dirt. What a pitch, and a good job by Wieters. Kept that ball in front of him.
Well, you try to pick up your team, and when he gets ahead, and then you can see that ball bouncing probably about, what, 60 feet 6 inches? Maybe 60 feet 4 inches, because that ball bounced out in front of home plate, and Matt Wieters just kind of smothered it. Real nice job.
So now it'll take a 2-out base hit or a mistake to get that go-ahead run in, and here is Rod Barajas. Flied out twice, struck out, bounced out his last at-bat.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Rios run here. And if you're Matt Wieters, you're not going to be throwing to second. I know Rolen doesn't have good speed.
Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1.
Another guy, if you look at his numbers, as we mentioned, leading the American League catchers in RBIs, he comes in hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position.
Hard hit ball. Melvin Moore has it go in front of him. He picks it up. He fires across. He got him. Melvin Moore using the body, able to have that ball bounce in front of him instead of to the side. And with the catcher running, he got his man. So Bass works out of it. We go to the bottom of the 10th, tied at 3. Adam Jones will lead off. Nick Markakis will follow. He'll bat second. And then Aubrey Huff will bat third as the Orioles have 3 power threats coming up consecutively here in the 11th inning in this 3-3 game. Blue Jays have hit the Orioles 11-8, and the Orioles survived that one error on the botched rundown as Brian Bass pitched out of it, and fabulous recovery by Melvin Moore on that hard smash. Able to keep it in front of him, and then knowing the catcher was running, didn't panic, ran it down and fired to first.
Yeah, and got him in plenty of time.
So here's Adam Jones. Brandon League stays on. And there's a strike. Lyle Overbay stays in the game at first. He pinch hit for Millar.
So you about equal defense. Overbay, a very good fielding first baseman. So is Kevin Millar.
Adam swings through it. It's 0-2, and Brandon League,
yeah, he's got great stuff.
Very impressive tonight.
Well, he throws in the mid-90s, and you got the change up, the splitter, whatever you want to call it, in the mid-80s. So a lot of separation.
And he got him. Another splitter, and Adam couldn't reach it. He's down on strikes, 1 away. Second strikeout for Brandon League.
Yeah, they have it up on the board. Let's take a Exmo trying to at least make contact with 2 strikes. Well, there's never been any doubt that this kid's got a great arm.
Here's Nick Markakis. His double came in the 6th. He scored a run, 1 for 4 overall. He was 1 for 4 in the game last night. And that's low. 1-0 on Nick. There's Mark Hendrickson now getting loose in the Oriole bullpen. Brian Bass has had back-to-back tough innings to keep this game tied. Markakis towards left center field. That ball's hit a long way, and that's going to get down for a base hit. He hit it against the base of the wall, and Markakis hustling in with a double. Wow, did that ball carry?
Well, because Nick Markakis hit it. You can see right there, 27th double. This is like the one he hit off Papelbon to beat the Red Sox when the Orioles came back from 10-1. And then Wells gets to it very quickly, and So Nick kind of like a stealth runner. Play in front of him, easily beats it. So they're going to walk Huff.
So Aubrey Huff, his run means nothing, so they will walk him to set up the chance for a double play.
Yeah, and it's that too, and the fact that they'd rather, even though Wigginton's got a couple of hits tonight, that's what they think of Aubrey Huff, his ability to hit right-handed pitching.
There's ball 3. Aubrey does have a hit tonight to drive in a run. That was back in the 6th, which at the time gave the Orioles a 3-2 lead.
So the last win the Orioles had in Seattle, Wigginton got the game-winning base hit up the middle, 2-run single. Opportunity to do that again tonight.
Ty's had a good game. Jim mentioned 2 hits, his 17th multi-hit game. Doubled and scored in the 2nd, singled in the 9th.
So 3 good arms in the outfield for the Blue Jays. But again, right here with 1 out, you're not exactly going on contact because you have to make sure any line drive clears the infield. And Markakis, good base runner with good speed at second.
And Huff is not being held at first, so he gets a good lead. There's that splitter again. A lot of confidence in that pitch, and he's got a good one tonight.
Well, hitters will tell you it looks like it's going to be around the knees, and then all of a sudden it just drops. And again for Brandon Lee, fastball 96, the splitter 90. We've seen 85, 87. Has yet to get one up in the strike zone.
Bouncer hits slowly towards third. Rolen tags out the runner, throws to first, and there's a double play. Wow. Markakis had no choice. He had to go. He was forced. And Rolen, because he was coming in on that ball, was able to reach out and tag him. And League works out of it. On we go to the 12th in a tie game. Jim, here's Mark Hendrickson to come on. He is the 6th Oriole pitcher in this game.
Yeah, he came in relief on the Tuesday night in Seattle. The Eric Bedard started it, but pitch count got him out of the game, and then the Orioles came back, won at 12-4. He got the win. He's been terrific out of the bullpen. Starting, not what he wanted, 1-4 with an ERA of over 6 runs a game, and ERA a little bit under 3 runs a game in 17 bullpen appearances. So if you look at the numbers over his lifetime, much better out of the bullpen. So he will come in a tie ball game here in the 12th inning.
It'll be 9-1-2 coming up for Toronto. Jose Bautista, who has had a good night. He's got 2 hits. He's 2 out of 4. And there's a strike.
And so for Mark Hendrickson, big overhand curveball. You saw the 89-mile-per-hour fastball. When he is pitching well, he'll finish that other side of the plate with a good changeup. There's the curveball. Misses a little bit low.
So the bullpen tonight, 5 innings for the Orioles, 1 earned run. That was the run off Johnson in the 8th that tied the game. Foul back. For Toronto, it has been 3 innings in relief, scoreless. Well, Hendrickson gets ahead of Bautista, 1-2. This is inside.
So they have him set up for a changeup away. Trying to hit the inside corner, missed down and in. Nope, curveball. Same thing, some off speed.
When you pitch, did you have a pretty good gauge of the umpires, guys that you'd get calls from and not?
Oh yeah, he had an idea. I mean, Steve Palermo was one of the best, but I didn't match up well. I think the only time I ever won a game with Steve Palermo, I think I was 1-8, was when I won my 20th game for like the 8th time. He wouldn't give me a ball off the corner. Didn't want to give me the high pitch.
2-2 is foul back.
And I needed it, especially at the end of your career. I mean, some guys you match up with better. But after a while, you know what they're going to give you, and you want them to be consistent. Romero's done that.
And Bautista down on strikes. He swung through it. So Hendrickson gets the first out and 1 away.
Yeah, Mark Hendrickson kind of, he just pitches as like a chess player. You move the ball around, in and out, and all that, up and down. And again, it seems like he just overpowered it. And we saw Bautista like up Rich Hill the first time, swing through 2 high fastballs, and then hit a single into center field, one of his 2 hits. But that time couldn't quite get to it. Now you got to be careful with SCUTARO, because he's a high ball hitter, inside half. That is the ball he drives. Doesn't hit a lot of home runs. You can see right there with 6.
That ball's hit through the middle. There's a base hit. So once again, the go-ahead run is on.
But again, the ball down, he may get on, but he doesn't hit for extra base hits or home runs. And that's what you have to do when you're pitching in close games, whether it's extra innings as this game is, or even late in the. Where can I go where, yeah, they may hit it, but I'm not going to give them a lot of leverage, and that's what the low pitch does, down and away.
So here is Aaron Hill. His turn comes up again. And there's a strike. The reason I asked you about the umpires, and again, this just might be a coincidence, but DeMuro had 4 called out on strikes by the top of the 5th, and he has not had a called out on strikes since. There have been 5 Orioles struck out as Hill hits at the center field for Jones, and 5 Blue Jays struck out, so 10. And I'm just wondering if as a pitcher you notice the pattern that he'll give you 1 and 2, but he won't give you 3, and then do you have to change your approach? Because it could be a coincidence, but
yeah, well, we
early on he was calling them out.
Yeah, and I think he was calling pitches off the plate, and I'm sure enough people said, you know what, hey, just make him throw it over, and he's done a nice job. It was a wider plate early on, and to the credit of whether it was Rich Hill or Ricky Romero, they took advantage of it.
I know in the past when vacation umpires would come up, sometimes they'd be reluctant to call strike 3. Maybe they were overmatched, who knows, but you know, it could be just a total coincidence. But no called out on strikes since the top of the 5th inning by DeMuro. Well, we'd like to welcome everybody who is watching the Nationals game tonight. The Nats had a big win in Houston, winning it 13-2. So good night for the Nats. We're at Camden Yards. We not only have bonus coverage on Masson, we have extra innings on Masson. Jim Hunter with Jim Palmer and Amber Theo Harris. We're in the 12th game summary, 3-3 game. Rich Hill, 6 strong innings. Luke Scott has a solo home run to extend his hitting streak to a career high 11. And the Orioles have 5 doubles to the Blue Jays 3 doubles. Toronto leads the American League in doubles on the year. 2 outs, runner at first. Adam Lind at the plate. And Mark Hendrickson, who came on this inning, gets ahead of him 1-2.
Boy, when you got a good left-handed hitter like Adam Lind at the plate, that 2-seam down and in, because to be a good hitter against left-handed pitching, and as we mentioned, over 300, you have to be able to cover the outside corner. So the 2-seamer, he swings right through it because it just runs down underneath his hands.
1-2 is low.
And he tries it again, and it didn't work. Outfield for the Orioles deep. Adam Jones a couple of steps deeper. 2 outs, and you talked about, Amber talked about it earlier. This is one of those situations, throwing a ball off your head.
Runner goes, pitch is taken outside, throw to second to the other side of the base. So SCUTARO steals the base. Now base hit could get Toronto the lead.
Yeah, he picked a great pitch to throw on, and then you're right. So again, just going and takes one look. And then the throw, because Matt Wieters hurries it a little bit and knew he had to. And what he's going to find out is that, hey, just come up, make a good throw. If they get a good jump, that's all you can do as a catcher.
3-2, bounce towards second base. Brian Roberts has it. He'll get it to first, and Hendrickson gets out of it. So another good job by an Oriole reliever. Bottom of the 12th coming up. Luke Scott to lead off for the Birds. Bottom of the 12th here at Oriole Park. Oh, beautiful flowers outside the warehouse on this summer night. And here is Jesse Carlson out.
Anyway, the Orioles saw him last night, inning in the 3rd. I talked to him today. I said, meal money, Jesse, meal money. You got to. But he's really had a terrific year last year. 5 holds, which is tied for the club lead for Toronto. And last night I said, I teach my little leaguers to kind of does a hop and lands with both feet. And he said, you know what, I just got to come up with a lot of junk to get hitters out. And he's been able to do that. Again, wiry kid, 6'1".
Another man's goal.
Exactly. What did Pete Rose say? Well, he said a lot of things, but one of the things he said.
Some of them repeatable.
No. Yes. Well, this one is. When he was managing, he said, listen, if you're breathing and you're left-handed, you got a chance to pitch in the big leagues.
Right.
And that's not any denigration to any of the left-handers in the league. But you're a matchup guy. You're supposed to get lefties out. He did a great job of it last year. Numbers not quite as good this year. Lefties hitting, what, 262. Last year they hit under 200.
Luke Scott swings through it, up and in.
No, he's trying to end it with one swing. The key to hitting, and it's been difficult tonight because the pitchers have pitched that well, is to get a good pitch to hit. There haven't been that many to hit, to be able to drop.
There's a strike in the outside corner.
So what Jesse Carlson was talking about is I got to do a lot of junk, his arms and legs and whatever. So there's a lot of deception. And again, his stuff moving, running. Already seen the big breaking ball.
Toronto pitching has struck out 6 Orioles. Oriole pitching has struck out 9 Blue Jays. One and 2 on Luke Scott, leading off in the 12th. And he got him. Chased a breaking ball out of the strike zone, 1 away.
So he jumped it up. Gets the 2 strikes and then good slider. Key to pitching ahead and pitching successfully. When you do get ahead, make a quality pitch, throw it off the plate, execute the pitch. And that's exactly what Jesse Carlson did to a guy that came in hitting over what, 333 against lefties with 8 home runs against left-handed pitching.
Melvin Mora has flied out and bounced into a force play. High fly ball right field. Rios back on it. Back it goes. It is out of there. It's gone. The home run drought is over for Melvin Mora, and the Orioles win.
Oh, Melvin, 37 and smart. Walk off right here. 50 games. Over 190 at bats. Souvenir time. Safe at home.
Melvin Mora's last home run was on May the 7th here against Minnesota. And you know what? You don't blame him for getting that excited, folks. It has been a long time. He's hearing about it every day. Well, join us again tomorrow for Orioles action. Series finale before the All-Star break. Brad Bergeson will be on the mound. He will go against the Blue Jays' Mark Zepchinski. Coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1 with those extra presented by AT&T, followed by the game at 1:30 on MASN 2 and WJZ. And now for Jim Palmer and Amber Theoharos, Jim Hunter saying so long from Oriole Park. Tonight's telecast of MASN presentation. Oh, is this a happy recap coming up? It's O's Extra now. Tom Davis and Rick Dempsey. Take it away, Tom.